Nicolai, tell me about your upbringing.
No.
My upbringing? Well, it started in 1816 London.
Holy
Whoa,
shit.
Were
18,
you-
what was
were
that
you-
like?
Wait. Were you Jack the Ripper?
Who?
God damn it.
Jack the Ripper.
The first serial killer ever.
It wasn't the first. It was the first notable one.
I'm going to take the fifth on that one.
So
Don't
he was.
shoo my fucking
So he
statements away.
was. He was the first.
I don't think you can take half a shot and then demand attention.
Exactly.
That's exactly what
this
I'm
is my
doing right now.
podcast this week.
Oh, shit.
He's wearing
really?
shades.
Damn.
Jack
you're
the
right.
Ripper, I need to interview you about the women you killed in London
Okay.
in 1860. Or I think it was the 1816s.
If I was Jack the Ripper, though,
The 1816s?
Ish. The teens.
I have no idea.
See?
Are you saying you like teens?
That's not at all what I said. Actually.
I heard that. I
Let's
thought I heard
see.
that.
Jack the Ripper did.
No, he killed
So-
like older prostitutes.
So are you saying you're Jack the Ripper?
No, I was inquiring that you were actually.
Spell inquiring.
No,
Why?
because this isn't a spelling bee.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't think I could spell inquiring either.
Are you guys serious?
Can
Spell
you?
inquiring.
INQUIRING.
G?
G?
It ends with G.
Q?
Inquiring.
I?
Yes.
I don't know about that, God. I don't know
Okay.
about that dog.
The fuck are you on, dude?
Inquiring right here. I spelled it perfectly. Thank you.
I don't believe that. But anyway,
check
Nicolai,
that.
have you been doing your fighting stuff?
Have you had a fight yet?
Have you had a fight recently?
Not
Anything
recently,
like
no.
that?
The last
Do you-
my last fight was in March, and it was my first fight. It was a boxing match, 3 rounds, and I think 3 minutes, but it felt like forever. You know.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, you're just working out the whole 3 minutes. It feels like forever.
What's like that feeling walking into like the ring knowing you're about to like fucking either get your ass beat or beat somebody's ass?
You don't ever think I'm gonna get my ass beat walking into that cage. At least you.
You try not to.
You try
right?
not to. Yeah, you think I'm gonna win. I was super confident going into my first fight, and I think that's kind of why I'm hesitant to fight now. Is because like I was so you think it's gonna go one way, you know what I mean,
And then it goes another way. Yeah,
I didn't get knocked out or anything. I think I just got outpointed. He hit me a little bit more than I hit him. But yeah, it was just boxing match. If I was to ever take anything else, it'd definitely be MMA or kickboxing because I'm not a boxer.
That's primarily what you train for anyway, isn't it?
Have you been training?
MMA?
Yeah.
Have you been training recently for MMA and any fight?
Yeah,
recently?
I always train. Yeah, I
Okay.
just never.
How
I mean,
often?
I have Mondays off. I haven't been going a lot on Mondays because I have a girlfriend. You know,
Okay,
and
you,
I-
you
you know
gotta
how
take
that
a day.
works.
I get it.
You
gotta take
know
a
how
day
that
off.
works.
Yeah.
But Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and occasionally Fridays at another
Okay.
gym.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. You should definitely try to get. I mean, I'm no fighter myself or anything. Like I don't want to fight nobody.
Have you ever been in a fight, Clint?
Once, but I don't want to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
No.
Come on.
Did you lose? It's okay
no,
if you lost.
I won, but I don't want to talk about it.
Good.
Who would you
Thank you.
fight?
I'm not talking about
Initials.
it. No.
When was it?
It was a long time ago. It was like 7th, 8th grade.
Have you
like
ever
that.
been in a fight, Michael?
Oh,
I've watched many of Michael's fights.
I've been in a lot of fights.
I've actually fought Michael. By the way, me and you, homie. Do you remember
we?
that? We went up to the trail by your mom's house, and we were like, let's homie scrap because we were by that not the cabin that's there. But we were like a little up from that road, but we were like, let's homie scrap, and we just sat there for like 5 minutes. Homie scrap. I don't think anyone really won that. We just decided.
Where we just
Nobody went to
slapboxing and
homie
shit.
scrap. It's just an
we
expedition.
Were like, we weren't really even
Exhibition.
punching each other because I mean we've been friends for way too long. But,
Usually
like,
when I
actually
homie
hit
scrap,
each
I
other-
just slap.
exactly.
You know.
But like, I've watched 3 of Michael's fights.
I've
I
probably
think.
been in like around about 20 fights.
Yeah,
I've
See,
never
I-
been in a fight.
I think I've been
Other
in
than
in one. Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be in an unsanctioned fight, dude.
It's tweak.
Unpredictable. You're gonna get stabbed. Some
The-
kid gets. A long
Well-
time ago, some kid got stabbed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
knew that
Like,
kid.
I
who
remember
stabbed
that.
I can't
somebody.
street fight
he
nobody.
got stabbed like 7 times.
Mhm.
But
Almost died. He was on life
mean-
support for a little bit.
I mean, speaking about that, I mean the way I got into my fight was I was just trying to break these 2 kids up from fighting and ended up getting in a fight with one of them because he didn't want to not fight, you know?
Yeah.
He was just in that attitude to fight. So I ended up having to fight him, but I don't want to talk about it. It was a long time ago.
That's fair.
I don't talk to that kid anymore, but I would. He's a very nice guy. I know he knows who I'm talking. If he listens, I doubt he listens, but
I think mixed martial arts should be like very encouraged in children.
Oh,
Because if
yeah.
you learn how to
Oh,
fight, you're
yeah.
never going to want to fight.
I took Taekwondo for 5 years, something like that.
The thing I'll say about Taekwondo is that it's kind of a bullshitsu art.
Oh yeah,
You
Like,
learn, you learn how to
especially-
kick and stuff. It's very good for that, but
especially as a kid. I mean, this is the thing I've always thought. Like as a young kid, learning all that stuff doesn't really help until you're like bigger and a little bit more strong. Even for women and stuff, like it doesn't help you until you're at least a teenager and you're starting to actually grow and build muscle and stuff.
it does build discipline though.
But
And discipline is a major thing.
Exactly,
In
and
martial arts.
you can always learn. Like I'll always remember how to roundhouse kick, and I'll always remember how to do like a spinning back kick. And I've done this years ago, like years and years ago.
I bet it's best when you learn it as a kid because it's kind of ingrained in your memory a little
like
bit.
the movement is ingrained in your memory, but if you continue to practice it as you're a teenager and stuff like that, you can put your muscles into it as well. Like I don't know, have you ever seen Joe Rogan's spinning back kick?
It's amazing.
It's
yeah.
fucking incredible. But like
I'm not good with spin
like
shit.
if we just got a fucking Taekwondo ass bag from
This
your
is just
mom,
a boxing bag.
the little boxing punching bag thing from his mom. And even today, when he came in, I was working out on the Bowflex. And like after he came in and he was like, I'm gonna shower really quick. I was like, bet. And I went and hit that bag for a little bit.
I'd have so much more money if I had a punching bag at home. You know how many TVs I would save?
See,
Holy fuck,
like and when I
How many
like,
headphones,
like
controllers?
I was playing Warzone earlier, and when I got mad, I was like, instead of getting mad at this video game right now, I'm gonna just go watch a comedy special and go work out really quick. And that's what I did for like I think 30 minutes.
Everybody's
martial
gonna
arts.
think you're tripping balls.
Probably. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just drunk. Don't worry about it.
Nah,
Off of
he's
one
off
shot?
of fucking 15 tabs.
I thought
of
that was a
acid.
lightweight.
I gotta face this way because the camera's facing the wrong way. But
If
my bad.
If this video gets 2,000 likes, we'll trip balls the next episode.
Hold on.
I don't even know 2,000 people.
Hold on. We're gonna cut this part
Might.
out. You guys can hear her, right?
Maybe.
Stitch
Fucking
barking.
barking out there.
It might be
That's
picking up on the
crazy.
It's not as bad as her being in the kitchen.
No, that's true. Like as long as it doesn't come in on the mic, I don't care. And she's fine. It's fucking 71 degrees outside. She's
She'll
fine.
give up
I left
after a
a
little bit.
big ass bowl of water for her out there. She's fine.
She'll be good.
It smells like Pittsburgh outside though.
That is true.
It
It's
does.
it's really smoky. So
It's not
and
too smoky today.
if it gets
Blue
to like
skies.
4:30, 4:45, I'm gonna just let her into the room.
Speaking of Pittsburgh,
She'll
if you're a
be chilling.
Pittsburgh fan, I fucking hate you.
The
is it.
Steelers. So
I'm a
you're
Pittsburgh fan.
also a major NFL fan. I can tell by your
Major.
NFL jersey right there. You're obviously a fan of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah. Ray Lewis
obviously.
famously played for the 49ers.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, I see it right there. It says it.
Sure.
Yep.
49ers.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure their alternate name is the Ravens.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, something like
Exactly.
Yeah. Something
But
like
anyway,
that. It's a throwback.
that. Yeah.
anyway, more seriously, how are the Ravens doing?
Oh,
this year?
dude. Today, Sunday,
I don't watch any football. I don't even watch hockey anymore, to be honest. So
my two favorite things are kicking ass and kicking ass in fantasy football. And I do both pretty decently.
Little flex.
respectable.
flex.
Slight little flex.
My own one record will show that. But yeah, I mean the Ravens are like 3-2 right now. They just went into overtime with the Bengals, dude. That was the most terrifying game I've ever watched in my entire life, dude. It's going back and forth, touchdown after touchdown.
Do you see
And I'm
yourself ever
sweating.
getting into sports betting?
Oh, I already am.
he just said he was in fantasy football and stuff,
Do
right?
you
We
bet
don't-
money in fantasy?
You don't bet
football?
money, right?
You can.
You can.
You can. Like if your league mates pitch in $20 to start a fantasy,
Do you-
start a fantasy league, and then at the end
Okay.
the pot.
Do you
know
have
what
to
I mean?
be-
I'm talking
well-
about real sports betting.
Yeah. Hold on, but do you have to for fantasy football at least? Because I know you can sign up at a pretty young age. Do you have to be a certain age to start betting on those games?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure.
Okay.
It's pretty shitty because you have to be 21 in Montana in order to sports bet, which kind of sucks.
It does suck. 'Cause
interesting.
I remember when I was 18, I was trying to bet on like UFC fights because I'd always bet on like someone I knew who would win, like Sugar Sean back
Sure.
when he was undefeated and stuff. I was like, I know he's gonna win, but I wasn't able to bet because I'm not 21.
Yeah.
But now I'm 21, so it's no issue. But it kind of sucks that it's 21 because it's like you're just gambling. It's literally the same thing as going to the casino and putting a few
It's
bucks
almost
into
a
a
little
machine.
better because if you know about sports, like if you're really into it, the more into it you are, you have a little bit more of an edge than somebody who never watches. I'd consider sports betting a lot safer than just going and hitting some machines, which is like the primary form of gambling.
Yeah, sports betting is a lot more advantageous
Yeah.
to the sports bettor because you can actually look into it. It's not
Yeah.
about luck; it's about research most of the
Yeah.
time. And
The more you know, the better you'll
It's
do.
about statistics.
I'm not a big
mostly.
fan of being 21 and able and drinking and stuff like that, and especially when you're 18 years old, you're eligible to go fight in some
Exactly.
war.
That's
but
what
I
I'm
can't
saying.
sports bet or
Like,
have a drink of alcohol.
It's ridiculous that at 18 you can go literally give your life for this country, but you can't sip alcohol. You can't bet on certain sports. You can't.
yeah,
But you can go to the casino and throw all your money into
into
one
a slot machine. Into a slot machine.
Yeah,
that,
exactly. It's
yeah,
like
that has less odds and
it's
has
just
a
ridiculous.
higher chance of ruining your life than sports betting does. But I've been buying pull tabs since I was like 12 years old, and pull tabs is the main way I bet. You just go to a
What are
casino.
pull tabs?
So pull tabs are basically you just go to any sports bar, right? You can go to the Magic Diamond in Butte. I used to go to this one bar when I was really young called Crazy Carol's.
Okay.
Over on Walnut Street. And what they have is you would be like, all right, I want to bet on this game. You would bet $5, $10, $20. And then you would pull a little piece of paper off of it, and then you'd rip it open, and it'd have the home score, and then it'd have the away score, and it'd have like the let's say it's 7-5.
Okay.
So if the end score is 27-35, then boom, you win that pool tab. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's simple
Okay.
enough, right?
Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense.
And I was also talking to one of my buddies at work not recently, a few months ago about horse tracks, like horse track racing.
Ooh, that'd be
because
so fun.
it's cheap to get in. Like you only have to bet like a certain amount, but you can win like a few $1,000s. Like not fucking, you're not gonna win like $50,000.
Yeah,
or some
Sure,
shit.
yeah.
But you'll win like maybe 1,000, 2,000, and that's still like I only put in $100. If I win $1,000,
Yeah.
that's fucking
Yeah, that's
$900
$100, yeah.
profit. That's amazing.
For sure.
10 times your money.
And like, so I'm not gonna put his name out there, but the buddy that was offering me was like, you should come out with me and I'll teach you kind of like how to do it and stuff. And I was like, fucking next summer when it's going on again, hit me up. I'll go with you.
Does it happen here?
It happens. I think it's like, I don't want to say what, I don't even know where it is exactly, but it's like, from what I know, it's
Is it the
not,
Kentucky Derby?
It's not in, no,
Okay.
no, it's not in Butte, but it's in like Dillon or fucking Missoula or some
Okay.
shit
Somewhere
like
with
that.
horses.
Exactly.
Some
exactly.
hick-ass
I mean,
place.
I mean, but Butte has horses and shit. I'm
Yeah.
kind of surprised that Butte doesn't do like race tracks and stuff like that. Because I mean, that'd get pretty popular
You
here.
have a perfect
wouldn't you-
place for it.
Exactly. Wouldn't you think like that'd be so popular here? We should do something like that where like. I mean, a lot of people frown upon it, but I mean, all you're doing is fucking racing horses who want to be ran anyway.
It's a little bit worse than just regular gambling.
I mean, exactly. And there's fucking 35 casinos here.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
why can't
At
we have
least.
why can't we have one racetrack where just old guys and a few teenagers can go out to who are 18
And
and
bet on
go
some shit.
spend some money?
Speaking of the casinos here, dude, no matter how many casinos I go to and try to sports bet, dude, they will never let you bet on a fucking UFC fight.
It's so weird.
I've tried so
Well, I
many
think
times
it's
to go
because
to
it's 50-50, and like the losses for them could be
not
pretty
really
fat.
like I mean, at the Eminem when you're
I'll be right
Sean
back. Keep talking.
Sean O'Malley was fighting, and he was fighting Aljamain Sterling, and I went to the Eminem to go watch it because they have like a watch party for it.
Yeah.
And I tried to bet money on Sean O'Malley because he's the obvious winner. He was underdog too, so I thought I was going to win a lot of money. And they wouldn't let you sports bet on O'Malley because apparently everybody else was betting on O'Malley. And so this next time I went to go sports bet on I don't even know who. just some random UFC event that I had a good feeling about. And I think I would have lost actually on this one. So they got
It's a
my
good
back.
thing it didn't
They got
happen.
my
Yeah.
back on this one. I went and pushed the tab for like UFC or MMA, right? And it didn't
Yeah.
even have
Stitch. That's Clint's dog.
again.
Again.
But anyway, yeah, it wouldn't let me bet on UFC, which is crazy. So I think the main way of betting in Butte, like sports betting, is just pull tabs.
Yeah.
Or unless you get DraftKings, but then you gotta wait till you're 21 years old.
Which is pretty stupid, dude, that they'll let you just gamble on machines, which are literally rigged against you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in
Yeah.
sports betting. Like, I feel like you have like a decent edge in sports betting if you know a lot about the sport.
I feel like they should cater to state legislature. Like if you're 18 and you can gamble, like in Montana, then they should be able to let you gamble on DraftKings when you're 18.
Sure. That'd definitely be the best move.
But I don't get it. I don't really get the reasoning behind that at all.
Who knows?
But there's some things that just baffle me when it comes to like age restrictions. You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah.
21 to do this, 18 to do that.
25
makes
to
no
rent a
sense.
fucking
Well,
car.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's exactly what I was just about to bring up. It's like it's ridiculous that you can buy alcohol before you can rent a car.
Mm-hmm.
So I can drive at. Like, I got my license at 15 years old.
Yeah.
I can drive at 15 years old, but I can't rent a car until 10 years later.
Yeah, I mean, maybe with those I get it a little bit more, but if you have a good record on your insurance, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
there's different
and
You
apps
can
like
even
Turo
provide an insurance.
that let you
And
rent
I mean-
a car at 18.
And that's the thing. That's only in the U.S. In different countries, I mean, me and him have looked into it quite a bit. You can rent a car for cheap in other
Oh,
countries.
So cheap. So fucking
And I
cheap.
mean, it doesn't matter what your credit score is. It doesn't matter. Like, your driving history obviously matters, but it's like if you have a good driving history, I think you should be able to rent a car at least 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, age restrictions are kind of ridiculous, but I mean, I get where they set those points, but I also find it kind of ridiculous that you can drink alcohol at 21, even though your brain isn't even fully developed at 21. Isn't it not fully
25.
developed till 25?
25
Yeah.
if you're a man. It's like 21 to 23 if you're a woman.
Then why wouldn't we
Exactly.
just raise everything to 25 years old? if it
Exactly.
mattered,
Like,
you know?
if
it doesn't matter.
If that's the case, why don't you just raise everything to 25 and then you're not even considered a full adult until you're 25?
Yeah. What isn't it like you have to get off of your parents' health insurance when you're 25?
It depends.
25.
It depends.
I
on
got
the,
booted off at 18. It depends.
Yeah,
on the kind
it
of
depends on the
you have.
insurance because I got booted off it like the day I turned 18. I got booted off of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like
So,
18 or 19.
Yeah, it depends because I know some kids that can be on it till they're 21 or 25. Sometimes it's like 23.
I guess
it
it
just
just-
depends
yeah,
on
just
what
depends.
insurance you have. But I don't know. It's
Don't get me started on
Crazy.
insurance companies, guys.
we won't.
What are your thoughts on insurance companies, Nicolai?
They're scams, dude. They're
For
scams.
sure. Insurance companies damn near run this country.
Insurance
Well-
companies will give you opiates, but they won't give you marijuana.
Yep.
Or actual life-saving
Depends on what you got.
medical care.
Well, there's been so many cases where like you've heard about like, oh, there's this one thing that like treats cancer, this and that, and then like chemotherapy makes so much money. So much money. It's one of the biggest earners in the medical
Well, it does work.
industry. Oh, for sure, but it works over time, over like the course of like years. You're paying thousands out of pocket and doing this and doing that, and it's basically like a whole money laundering program.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
insurance companies aren't into cure you. They're into keep you on insurance.
Yeah.
For
Exactly.
the rest
That's
of your
why the
life.
foods we eat have so many fucking additives and this and that, and cause so many like health issues and this and that.
Canada actually Canada bans like in our cereal you
Food
can
coloring.
look behind you right now and look at fucking Apple Jacks and I think I see Fruity Pebbles back there and stuff like that. Canada bans the food coloring that's in those specific
Red 40.
bags and they sell it over there just the same shit just without that food coloring
Yeah.
because that food coloring has been determined toxic to human beings.
It's
Yeah.
all
But
chemicals.
in the U.S., they're still like,
Fuck it.
sell
There's
it
some
to
certain-
them, dude. Who
there's certain-
cares?
There's certain pesticides
gives
that we
a
put
fuck?
on our agriculture and stuff like that. That is
Exactly.
toxoids.
And here's the other thing: when vegan people say they're going vegan. I've watched 30 clips about this, about farmers on like podcasts or just in interviews going vegan. Like people like that don't realize how many fucking animals we kill just to keep those plants safe. Like you kill
Hogs and
thousands, if not millions of animals a year just to keep your corn, your wheat, your peas, whatever you're growing. You kill all the animals that are gonna eat that, all of them, to keep that safe. And all these vegans are like, we're only eating plants to keep animals safe and whatnot. And it's like, no, like
It's not how the ecosystem
it's
works,
not
brother.
how it works. If you want those plants, you're technically killing more animals than you would if you just ate a cow.
Yeah, just ate one.
Exactly.
Exactly, yeah. I
Do
mean,
know
if
the
you
whole
find the
reason bison are alive is because people eat them.
Okay, I'm letting this dog back outside.
The whole reason
Bison is pretty
bison are alive. Oh, dude, bison burgers. Holy fuck. I'll nut over
they're
those,
very
bro.
good, yeah.
But the whole reason they're kept alive is because everybody knows this for the most part, that during the era, like I think I'd like to say like probably like late 1700s, early 1800s. I could be wrong on that. Bison almost went extinct. The American bison.
Yeah, 1800s.
There
Yeah.
was like 30 left or some shit, and they
Something
kept
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
maybe
kept them
100.
alive because people like eating them, right? And the main thing that keeps them alive today is that people eat them. And
Well,
this
they
and
wanted
that.
to kill them originally because the Native Americans relied on them.
Oh yeah, you
And,
could use a bison for a lot of shit, man. The Native Americans were real resourceful with them. They would create like bowstrings with them.
Well,
from
apparently
their
not
sinew and shit.
because they blew like a 500 home advantage lead to the Americans.
Guns are a
I'm
crazy thing, man. Guns are crazy.
We still haven't switched that fucking
Yeah,
mic cord.
we didn't. If
But-
you're wondering what that sound is.
Oh yeah, guns were probably like the game changer for.
Give Native
human
Americans
beings.
some guns, bro. Give the Apaches some guns.
I think
Have
we
you ever
already
seen
did
that?
shit.
Have you
We
ever
had
seen
sheer
that,
numbers to outnumber
There's a
them,
Family
too.
Guy episode about that actually, where
Yeah.
Stewie gives goes back in times and gives the Indians some guns, and they just start running shit.
Yup.
They just start running it.
It's crazy.
It's like that's what would have happened. I'm pretty sure.
Whoever has the better machinery within a war, that's who's
Exactly,
gonna
that's-
win.
Not true. Afghanistan.
True.
Afghanistan.
They knew the terrain
tactics,
better. They knew the
tact-
terrain
home
better.
home field advantage.
Home field advantage.
There you go. I mean, but to be fair, I mean, were we ever even supposed to fucking be over there?
Afghanistan's a crazy territory, though, man.
Exactly.
It is, yeah.
It's
but also
insane.
Vietnam,
Like
Vietnam,
most
fucked
of
us.
Africa,
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's true.
Soon to be Ukraine and Israel,
Ukraine and Israel, Palestine, all that, like that,
Iran.
Iraq, yeah, all that.
Wow.
It's
What would it take for
absurd.
you guys to fight in a war?
I mean,
A good cause.
Like,
It-
give me an example.
another world war, perhaps.
A good cause. I don't know. I mean,
Say-
the causes that might.
Let me give you a good cause. Maybe say Putin just goes off the rails, starts nuking all these
Here-
little European countries.
Okay.
Here-
around
here's the thing about Putin, guys.
here.
People really hate on Vladimir Putin, but I mean,
You're
none
about to
of us-
drop a hot take.
I am.
I'm
about to drop some
Just for
serious
reference,
logic.
I'm only giving a hypothetical.
You guys can blame me all you want, okay? This is facts. In 2000, roughly around that range, right after the Soviet Union collapsed, the Russian Federation, which it is now known by, wanted to join NATO, but NATO said no. You want to know why? Because
Why?
our entire point of NATO is just to hate on Russia. We're just a hate group for Russia. And ever since the 1980s, we made a promise not to move a inch past Berlin, and we've only done that. And we are about to take Ukraine. So this was pretty much like when Ukraine was about to join NATO. This was pretty much the Cuban Missile Crisis for Putin, because people who literally hate him and want him dethroned because he's Russian and it's a pretty orthodox and conservative country, and the West just kind of wanted to topple that regime, and so they decided that they wanted Ukraine to join NATO, and he invaded because he doesn't want them to join NATO. And he does have some very good points with the fact that they're within that region. I forget what it's called, that mountainous region. It's been a while since I've even researched or studied this because I don't pay attention to politics anymore. But there's actually a lot of Russian speaking people within that region and within Crimea. The only reason this war started was because Barack Obama started American-backed.
Every single fucking episode. Every single goddamn fucking episode.
I thought I was going to get trumped there for a second.
You got to give me a hit tax, but continue.
Anyway, Obama set up a American CIA-backed coup that sparked protest all around Ukraine. This is for real. You can look at CIA documents that say this, that we
Linking
supported.
them in the bio.
Thank you. That we supported regime change within Ukraine to be pro-American, and that's why Zelensky's in charge right now is because of American-backed operations.
Yeah, makes sense.
Super dope.
Yeah, and we hate on Putin because the people on the screen tell us to hate him.
I don't.
crazy
listen to the
how
people on
much-
I was just giving a hypothetical.
It's crazy
all
how
right?
much.
I'm just saying. I'm just tired of this Putin hate. Like,
I'm not hating on Putin. All right. I'm just saying if one day, he decides to go ape shit.
What if he fucked your mom? Then what?
yeah, I couldn't take that disrespect.
So
There
you'd
you
have
go.
to,
So
right?
you'd fight.
I think
You'd
I'd have
fight.
to.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'd have to. Yeah.
What if
I
I,
think-
fucked your mom?
I've been.
Well, I think it'd be a lot easier time for me.
Okay.
I've been like.
Respectfully.
This is such a weird opinion, but since I was like fucking, I don't know, 12, 13 years old, since like when you're that age, the army and the military really tries to grasp your opinion, especially with like movies and even
Transformers.
and it
even,
did with
even
me.
in high school and stuff, they like, well, you should join the military. This is how cool it is and stuff like that. Like, but ever since then, even now, I'm 21 now, and I still think like, dude, if I joined it, I mean, I don't really care if I die. I'd be doing some cool shit, traveling, fucking.
In the words of Bushwick Bill, be a soldier, what for? Because, like, there's nothing to fight for in this country. That's why recruitment's
Nothing
down.
right now.
I don't think there will be for a very long time.
I think there's something coming up.
I don't
that-
know, man.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's something that's about to go down. That
I think the only way that they could get patriotism up is if another 9/11 happened. That's the only way I see it.
I think.
And even
I
then,
think it would be
a
very
lot of
convenient
people-
if that happened. It would
Well,
be
even-
extraordinarily convenient.
But
Right.
even then, I mean, so many nowadays, this country's so divided on everything that even if something like that happened again, how many people do you think will be like? I'm pretty sure we did that. The U.S. did that.
Well, everybody
or
already thinks
whatever.
fucking Bush did.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like I don't even think that will bring back patriotism in this country.
The reason why I'm so anti military industrial complex is because I was brainwashed into that too. From like as long as I can remember, I wanted to join the military and be a soldier and start killing people.
I almost
and that's
did.
because I was brainwashed. And I mean,
Well,
I'm not saying
even-
that you're brainwashed if you would
even-
join the military. You know
Even
what I mean?
then, like fucking, I don't mean to distract you. Sorry about that, but even fucking like video games and stuff do that to you nowadays. Like Call of Duty has been around since fucking.
They're backed by the defense
2000.
department. Yeah.
They're backed by all.
Well,
of
if
that
any
shit. They're
Hollywood
like-
movies want to use anything like an Air Force base or any like military technology, they have to have the U.S. military go over the script, write them in to make them look a lot better than they actually are. And do
Exactly.
this and do that. Like
there's
most Hollywood movies that involve the United States military in a major way.
propaganda.
There's a select few movies that actually depict the U.S. military and government as it actually is.
But
And that's like what I'm saying. Very few and far between.
Yeah.
Like only 1 or 2 movies comes out like that every decade.
the thing about military movies is, I believe Spielberg, is that how you-
Spielberg?
Steven Spielberg.
he said that any war movie is an anti-war movie,
Yeah.
pretty much. So, I mean, it depends on the movie because a
There's-
really good war movie that I
Didn't
love.
he make Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. No,
No, he did not.
Oh.
I don't know who directed
Steven
that.
Spielberg made shit like Indiana.
No, I know.
Jones
He
all
made
that
like
shit.
Jaws and
Yeah.
all that shit. I thought he made Saving Private Ryan.
I think it was a
I'm
pretty
sorry.
niche director that actually made that. Was it?
Who?
Is it a pretty big name director who?
I thought it was.
But when
I don't have my computer. I'm sorry. I should have grabbed it, but
one of my favorite movies of all time is All Quiet on the Western Front, and the original one, because it shows
Okay.
the atrocities of war, and it actually shows why you wouldn't want to go. Because at the beginning of the movie, and I kind of want to give. Is it cool if I give a shout out?
Yeah.
So there's this one YouTuber named Wendigoon, who I watch a lot.
Shout out Wendigoon.
Shout out Wendigoon, and
Shout out.
he makes a really good video.
Steven Spielberg did indeed direct Saving Private Ryan.
Told you.
Damn it! All right, well, we owe him a couple hand jobs. I agree.
Thank you. I thought I heard that like literally a few days ago, and I was like, I'm pretty sure he did direct that.
I didn't think anybody that famous directed it, but yeah,
He wasn't famous then. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was like the first movie.
No, he was famous.
Oh, really? Okay. See that
Steven Spielberg
I'm
had
wrong
a
about that.
big hand within the Star Wars franchise. He put George Lucas on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't
okay.
even
See,
know
I
that.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Star Wars. I'm not a big Star Wars
I'm not
fan.
either.
I'm a like mediocre Star Wars.
Steven
fan.
Spielberg is probably the most. If we're talking iconic movies, probably the most iconic
Oh
director
yeah.
of the past.
I mean, even
fuck,
then, like,
100 years.
I didn't know he had any part in Star Wars, but I've pretty much watched every single one of his movies.
Every movie that they're remaking to this day, like still fucking milking the
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
IP
Oh, yeah.
of Steven Spielberg damn near had a hand in.
Mm-hmm. Like Indiana Jones. They made
Indiana
brand new
Jones.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Dude, I hated the new Jurassic Park.
I
movies.
hate all of them.
I've never seen the original ones.
The original ones are so good.
I gotta
Fucking
watch
if
those.
if you watched them today and you like just put yourself in the time that they were
They're
They're probably
made in,
amazing. Yeah,
They're the
fucking-
quintessential 90s
They're
movies.
fucking
the
amazing.
practical effects, the
Oh my god.
so
the
good.
T-Rex
robotics.
in the first
Dude,
one.
the T-Rexes.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
my
amazing.
God. Ahead of their time.
That first scene where they're in the Jeep and they're they're getting attacked in that mud storm.
Yup.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
when that movie came out, like '88.
Sometime in the 80s.
Yeah,
pretty
you're in
sure
the
it was
'80s.
early
You don't even know what CGI is, and all of a sudden
Exactly.
you go
It's-
to movies and
and
just
then
someone's
he
getting
goes-
chased
he
by a
goes in
T-Rex.
1993.
He goes in
No,
90s,
a little closer.
and then he makes fucking Jaws with a robotic shark that he puts in the water.
Uh-huh.
Let's look at
It's fucking amazing. Definitely one of the founders of what Hollywood is today.
Great cinema, yeah.
Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T., Indiana
E.T.
Jones.
is really old.
Saving
It's one of his
Private
first ones, isn't
Ryan,
it? E.T.
E.T. I think so.
Catch Me If You Can,
Catch
West
Me If
Side
You Can.
Story, Ready Player One,
Radio Player One was
Back to the Future,
Back to the Future
Goated.
is gas.
The Color
Goated.
Purple. A lot of shit. Poltergeist,
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
So
I
many
didn't even know
things.
that.
The Terminal.
Um,
He's made a Lincoln. He's made a lot. Twisters.
The state of modern horror movies is just atrocious. Too.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
I know.
Oh,
That's bad.
It's the same shit.
Even speaking about movies, have you heard the horrible reviews that have been coming in about the Joker 2? I
Don't.
mean, Jesus.
It's a musical,
Christ.
dude.
Like,
It's crazy that
I
the
didn't-
director of that
I haven't
made
even,
The Hangover.
I haven't even watched.
And the first Joker.
I haven't
and the
even.
first Joker.
Like, that's the thing. I haven't even watched the first Joker because I knew.
Really?
It's pretty good.
I know it's really good.
It's really
I've watched
good.
lots of videos on it, but I knew that the second he announced that second one, that first movie was ruined for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because I know I haven't watched the movie, but I know how the first movie ends. I know how it ends in like that mystical way where you're like, did all of this happen in his head?
Yeah, well, he's in like
what
the cop car
happened?
and shit.
Exactly. Like, was he in an asylum this whole time, just imagining all this stuff?
Yeah.
And then the second movie I mean, I haven't seen the second movie, so I can't really judge it. I've watched a few videos on it. From what I hear, Joaquin Phoenix is amazing.
I've heard
as
it's
always.
basically a musical.
Lady Gaga is amazing. I mean, their acting performances are amazing, but the movie is just
You could be the
horrible.
best fucking actor in the entire world, and if you have a shitty screenplay, there's not much you can do with
there's
it.
nothing you can do.
The writing of a movie and how much goes into that. And
I
like,
blame Todd Phillips, the guy who directed it.
I think they should have came out with Joker, and that's it.
I
There's no-
genuinely
Yeah, I mean,
believe that.
even if you have a cliffhanger ending, who says you need to make
There's
another
very
movie?
few. Fight Club had a fucking cliffhanger ending.
Shutter Island has never come out with a sequel.
Beetlejuice didn't have a sequel for like 30 years.
Exactly.
Most movies.
And even then, I mean, I like
It
this
didn't really end on a
Beetlejuice. This
cliffhanger either.
Beetlejuice movie is, from what I hear, it's very
good.
fucking good.
I'm
It's
putting
not
in
bad.
my prediction right now. They'll come out with the Titanic sequel. in the next 10
Titanic
years.
sequel?
Oh, I mean,
Sinks
like they
again.
can now. They
I wouldn't
definitely
be
can.
surprised,
It's gonna be
bro.
about the submarine.
Exactly. They're gonna make a movie about like the 5 people going down in this little tiny submarine.
I'd watch
and then
that.
at the end of the movie, it fucking implodes.
If they made that a comedy, I'd watch that.
I'd watch that.
I'd watch the fuck out of that.
The ending line is, do you guys hear that?
Dude, that'd
And
be
then it just
hilarious.
credits.
I'd shit myself.
It's right behind me, isn't it? But modern Saw movies, dude, I love horror. I love the Saw horror
Never
movies.
seen the Saw movies.
They're so good, but
Not even the original.
They still hit to this very day. The most recent one they made was actually pretty good. You got to cover your eyes a little bit sometimes, but
Oh, for sure. There's this one movie with like this one clown. I don't remember what it's called, but
I don't think it's that.
No, it's like this really like it's stupid. It's stupid
Oh,
plot. All
Art.
it is
Art the
yes, Art the Clown. There's this one scene.
I love how you know that.
The
I
bedroom
don't remember
scene.
the name of it.
The
actually.
bedroom scene. Where he walks into this fucking lady's bedroom, dude. And he's dressed as like this crazy clown. And he just like fucking fucks her up, dude. Like slashes her wrist, pours salt in her shit, dude. And he like leaves the room, comes back with like a thing of lemon juice and bleach, dude. Pours it in her shit, dude. Fucking like skins her alive, basically. Skins her entire. It's so fucked up and gory.
We got to bleep
dude.
all of that.
It is fucking disgusting.
It's just not even scary either.
It's not
just
scary.
like-
it's just like shock factor bullshit.
It's that gory stuff that.
you guys want to watch a really good horror movie that's like newer? Is Sinister? I watched
Sinister
that. I watched
with
that.
what's his name? Where like the family's in the backyard and like fucking he moves into this house.
It's
He's a
there's
writer.
no shock value in that movie at all. I mean, there's a little bit. There's enough to where it's like
I watched that when I
creepy.
was at like 11 years old, dude.
Yeah.
Fucked me up.
I honestly like video game horror games.
Outlast
Silent Hill gave me
is
so
so
many
scary.
nightmares.
Silent Hill 2.
when I was a kid.
Have
I'm
you guys
about
seen
to
the
start
Silent Hill
playing-
movie?
No.
No.
That movie's really Silent Hill Retribution or whatever it's called. Really good.
They just came out with Silent Hill 2 on it's on like you can buy it on I think on any console or whatever you have. But from what I hear, I haven't seen anybody play it because I kind of want to play it myself and see what it's like. From what I hear, it's really fucking good.
I can't play horror games.
And they also just remade Until Dawn.
Really?
Dude,
I love
that's,
Until Dawn.
That's the crazy. I was just talking to you 2 weeks ago about how I'm like obsessed with Until Dawn, Man of Medan, like
Me
all
too.
those dark picture games that they
I
make where
love
you like
Until Dawn. Yeah.
you get to make those choices and they progress how, like if your people survive or if your people die.
Almost as like Telltale games, kind of like
It-
similar within that realm.
That's exactly what it is a Telltale game, but it's
horror.
horror elemented,
Yeah.
and it's so good. And I've been watching Jev play it, and the remake. I mean,
the remake of Until Dawn.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been watching the remake of Until Dawn, and you can't. I mean, remaking a game is always kind of hit or miss. I mean, and in my opinion, Until Dawn the original still holds up to this day. Like I could buy the original on my PC and still be like, this is a fucking
It's a
like,
great
game, great graphics, great acting, all of that. They didn't need to remake it, but they did. They added
It makes it look
like,
nicer.
They added a scene in the beginning of it, like a full scene, kind of adding more context to the story, and it was like that's good. But then they didn't really add anything more than that other than graphical updates, and it's like that's fine as well. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, but
Doesn't ruin the game.
I love those horror games because I mean in video games just in general you feel way more immersed than you do even in a movie. You just feel like you're that because you're moving around as that
Sure,
person,
yeah.
picking stuff up as that person. I mean, learning, you're solving the mystery yourself as you're going through that
I
game.
love that game, dude.
It's
it gives
so
you
good.
like it gives you like two
It's
red
so
herrings.
good.
You know what I mean? And then it like hits you
dude.
with this, and it's like, oh my
And
god.
even if you've played it once before, you can go through again and
And be
find
like,
all these
"Oh,
other
that's what
clues.
it was."
You can find all these
stuff
other
like
clues
that,
and
yeah.
be like this, and it's like, oh, it's so amazing. You taking your first piss? We're fucking 30 minutes in. He's taking his first piss.
we
Piss
can
when I
geek
drink.
out about Until Dawn. But I'll watch like YouTubers play it, and then they'll make one wrong decision. I'm like, I'm not watching this again. I'm
dude.
done.
That's why I watch Jev because he's very strategic about all these decisions that he makes. Do you watch FaZe Jev?
I don't think so.
I'm subscribe to him immediately. He's one of the I'm sure you've heard of like the FaZe people and all that. He's literally like the OG of the OG FaZe.
Is he one of the ones that
He's-
didn't molest children?
Exactly. he's one of the first ones. He didn't even move into the FaZe house when they made the FaZe house.
That's
like
crazy.
he stuck to his shit, and he's always been on that shit since he started YouTube. Like I've been watching Jev for 8 years, something like that. And he has not the same setup. He's moved houses and shit, but he has the same style of video, the same kind of shit he does. But anyway,
Yeah.
going back into like horror games and stuff. Have you ever watched like the other dark picture games that they've made? Like there's one called Man of Medan.
I tried watching it and I thought it was very terrible.
Man of Medan.
I just couldn't get into it.
Man of Medan, in my opinion, isn't great because the thing about Until Dawn that was super fucking good is they made it a real like horror element. Like you're fighting a Wendigo. Well, I don't mean to.
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers alert.
Spoilers.
But if you haven't played the game, you're fighting a Wendigo.
And you don't even know it.
And you don't know it until
have no
basically like
idea.
the last chapter. You have no idea. And in Man of Medan, it's all just this psychological. It's like a gas or some shit that comes through the ship. I don't want to spoil that either.
I tried to watch Jacksepticeye play it, and I just couldn't get into it.
And that's the thing. Like Until Dawn did it perfectly. I think even Jev said it when I was watching him play. Like Until Dawn just did it perfectly to where they introduced the horror element really quickly, and they led you into this mystery element like right into the game. And then like the other games, I don't want to diss on the other games because I've watched all of them and they are pretty good. There's one with I can't remember the name of it, but it goes by the serial killer H.H. Holmes. Like you kind of, I don't know if you ever heard about this guy. I think it's based on a real person who like made this, he bought this hotel and he had like 6 different construction companies remodel it. He made this hotel like a fucking trap house. And this was I'm pretty sure this is like a real thing. And if I'm wrong, please tell me because I'm 90% sure this is a real thing. Garrett, you might be able to tell me. H.H. Holmes is a real person, right?
I don't fucking know.
Okay, so if you don't, we'll look it up
Google
after.
it.
Look it up really quick. But he was, I believe that might actually be the world's first serial killer. So I don't know what time. I don't want to speak
Yeah, he
out
was a
dates.
real-
First
Okay.
documented series.
Thank you.
Okay.
He was a real guy, and he made this like hotel somewhere. I couldn't fucking tell you where he made all these death traps where like the walls would move, the stairs would move. He could trap you in this room, come kill you, leave your body somewhere, leave. No one would ever know you were there. He
Much
killed
of the lore attached to Holmes concerns the so-called Murder Castle, a 3-story building he commissioned in Chicago. Details about the building, along with many of his alleged crimes, are considered exaggerated or fabricated for sensationalistic tabloid pieces, with some accounts estimating his body count could be as high as 100 or 33 or even 200. Many of these inaccuracies have persisted due to the combination of ineffective police investigation and hyperbolic yellow journalism of the period, which are cited as historical record.
And now that was based on Man of Medan. That's what.
Not Man of Medan. I can't remember the game that they base. I'm trying to remember the name. I'll probably think about it. But I mean, the whole game, you're like stuck in the castle that he's made back in the day. I mean, it's
the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me.
The Devil in Me. Thank you for looking that up. But like, it's the second best. There's Until Dawn, and then there's The Devil in Me. It's so good because it starts out just kind of the way Until Dawn does, where you start out and you kind of don't know what the fuck is going on.
I gotta watch that Let's Play.
It's amazing, and it's based on a real guy, which I think made it even a little better because even like. And Until Dawn, you know how you can pick up like these notes and stuff that kind of give you a little more clue about what even happened back in the day.
Yeah.
Like you can find these things about miners and stuff. You can find real documents in this game about like what H.H. Holmes wrote, about what he was thinking about all this stuff. It's
crazy.
It's a really good game. And it doesn't get as much appreciation and attention as it should. And I feel like that's the second best out of that anthology.
I will
and
definitely check that out.
it deserves some
Sounds right up my
recognition.
Scariest game to me is Outlast.
Outlast is terrifying.
Outlast 2 is one of the scariest games.
Terrifying.
The scariest game I've ever played in my entire life.
Literally, the first time you start on the controller, you're in the middle of the woods in the dark.
And this crazy fucking
And this
person
this like
village. Oh
this
my
witch,
God, it's
this
fucked
like fucking
up.
witch is after you. It's terrifying.
it.
It's
It is
it's the
actually
worst.
horrible.
I did watch
Horrifying.
a playlist or a playthrough of Outlast 2, and the story's messed up, dude.
It's
It
fucked.
gets me.
I've watched the whole story.
It's somehow more fucked up than the first one. Though.
Isn't it like about a Satan? Like they're trying to birth the Satan baby. or
Yeah,
something
like
that?
apparently, like you had a crush and like you went to a church school, and then like the
Plane
pastor
crashes.
The pastor, like I don't remember, but
The
yeah, the plane
very
crashed,
the
and your
second
wife's with
game
you.
very first starts with a plane crash,
It's a helicopter crash.
helicopter crash,
Yeah.
and you're supposed to like wander around.
And you start it, you go down this path, and the first guy you see is tied, like dead, nailed to a cross, naked, and his like legs are chopped off. It's a really
It's-
fucked up game.
It's fucked up, man.
It's super fun though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's what I'm saying.
I haven't made it past like the first part of it. dude.
Horror
That
video
shit is
games are so good.
playing that shit in VR would be something different.
They do.
I'm
have
pretty
a-
sure there
I-
already is a VR.
Yeah, there is a
for
VR
Outlast.
Outlast. Yeah, it's terrifying. Let me tell you.
You should do that for your gaming channel.
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes, that'd
I
be
think
so funny.
I'd die. I'm pretty sure.
And you probably have a heart attack like the
Yeah.
little
Like, I
fucking
just hear
bitch
screaming.
you are.
21-year-old dies of heart attack playing Outlast VR.
For views.
That'd be a proper death for somebody like you.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drop in the comments if you want Clint to play Outlast 2 VR on his gaming channel.
And die.
And die.
Or either or.
Respectable.
If he survives, If he dies, yay.
It's a reasonable sacrifice for the views.
For sure.
Guys, I think someone's hanging over there.
Guys. You could have like a heart rate monitor attached to the
Yeah.
shit.
People do that, yeah.
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 Scary shit, man.
Ooh. I'm kind of fucked up right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty fucked up. But
Nicolai?
No, I'm good.
Give him another shot, Clint.
you want another shot, Nicolai?
He's going to take another shot.
Would you guys ever consider doing jujitsu?
I would.
I'll pull up with you one day.
100%.
Once I got some fundies in my pockets, I'll pull up with
It's
you.
one of the greatest things
Even-
you can do.
Even then, I don't even care if I go broke doing that shit. Like, how much is it?
$60 a month. Or no, it's like 70, I think, for where I go.
Fuck yeah.
That's
I'll
it.
do that.
It's a decent chunk of change.
I'll take a shot with
How many
We have an
classes?
MMA gym here though, and people
Which-
will probably watch and know
Okay,
what it
that-
is.
because I'm sorry to distract you
You're good.
once again. I know there's a few. There's like one or two. I know of that.
Yeah.
Which one do you go to?
I do Streets of Butte, which is free up at
Okay.
the college, and I do Imperial Jiu-Jitsu. That's a little much.
I hear
Sorry.
Trying to kill
grit
me.
is pretty expensive.
It's $140 a month.
Holy
but isn't it-
fuck.
It's an amazing gym though. Kelly, the guy who runs that place with his wife, it's Ariel. Ariel was on The Ultimate Fighter, and
The-
she's a killer.
The Disney
Is that-
princess?
No.
The Little Mermaid?
Is that
Something like that.
Okay, so me and Michael went up to Helena. Was it Helena or was it Missoula to go watch your
He
fight?
was literally there.
I know. What was it, Helena or Missoula?
It was
where,
Helena.
Where me
It
and
was
Michael
Helena.
pulled up.
It was Helena.
I wasn't fighting, but
John
and-
Crossman, shout
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
and Brendan wrote.
that was the best.
The boys.
When I saw him hit that triangle, shout out to John. When I saw him hit that triangle choke, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna come.
Dude, that was
the best
sick.
triangle choke
I'm
I've ever
happy we
seen.
went, for real. We got to go backstage, too, fucking mingle with all of everybody.
Yeah, they let us into like the VIP area.
That
It
shit
super
was
sick.
not guarded whatsoever.
Nah,
I
you
think
could just walk back
anybody
there.
could have walked
There
back
was a
there.
there
They
was
don't
a
give a shit.
cop fucking like 4 seats back.
Oh,
that
fuck
ju-
that cop.
That
I-
just watched us walk back.
I
there. He didn't
will
give a fuck.
I don't
Anally
think
fuck
they-
that cop.
I don't think they're there to stop you from going
Oh,
back
no.
there. I
They're
just think
they're there
just
to stop like drunk, ignorant people
Or
I'm pretty
shooters.
Sure. Yeah.
Shooters.
shooters, obviously.
Shooters. This is America. Come
Fuck a
on.
fuck a shooter.
Yeah, I'm more of a backstage guy. I don't like fighting, but I'll roll. I've been thinking about doing some jiu-jitsu matches because I'm a
Really?
jiu-jitsu guy. I love jiu-jitsu.
How long have you been doing jujitsu?
Since I was 17,
17. Okay.
almost 2 years now.
What do they do? I assume they do belts in jujitsu. Like what color? The color of belts. What color belt are you?
I'm a white belt still.
White belt
my,
still,
My
okay.
belt. My gym doesn't promote belts very often, and I'm you usually only wear a belt if you have a gi, which is the big like I don't know what it is. It's like the big coat that you wear right when you play
Okay.
when you do Taekwondo or something, they wear gis too, I think. And you only get a belt if you wear that. And I'm
okay.
mostly a no gi guy. I'll roll in the gi sometimes, but I'm mostly a no gi oil up type of guy.
You like to oil up?
What?
I didn't say that.
You want some Diddy shit?
I didn't say that.
1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I'm sorry for being so naive, but what is nogi?
What
does that mean?
Dude, I love talking
Just
about it.
means
So
you just
don't
wear
even
regular
don't worry
clothes.
Shut
worry
up.
about asking questions. No-gi is pretty much where you don't have the coat. So if you have the giant, like if you had your coat on right now,
Okay.
I could grab across your coat and I could choke you with your own
Okay.
coat.
Okay.
But if you don't have that on, you just have like a rash guard or you just don't have a
like,
shirt on.
you don't have a shirt on.
I can't
okay.
choke you with your
Like,
own.
So
you know.
you're basically like you can't use your own clothes against you. Okay, because I mean that's what I used to do in Taekwondo. They hated it because Taekwondo is mainly like a defense thing. You're only supposed to basically be learning defense. Even when you're sparring, you're just supposed to be defending the whole time.
Yeah.
And like I used to like grab kids' shirts and like roundhouse kick them in the back, and it's like
That's some
you
dirty
can't
shit.
do that. It's like I'm sorry, I didn't know.
You could do that.
I mean, you can,
definitely could.
not in Taekwondo though. But
Yeah.
but anyway, like, so I would definitely be down to get into like jujitsu and stuff like that because even then I've been talking to Michael about this quite a bit. I've been getting into working out mostly every day. I'm trying to
Weightlifting?
weightlifting, and like I want to do cardio.
You got to do cardio.
Right now in Butte, fucking Montana, it's so hard to do, like, because I don't have a fucking treadmill or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So I'd have to actually go outside and run, or I mean, I could obviously do like jumping jacks and shit like that, little shit in my garage and whatnot. But what I mainly want to do is like go out and jog with my dog. But right now, I mean, look at it outside right now.
Yeah.
I can't
that
fucking do
bad,
that.
bro.
Have you seen it?
Not today.
Go check outside right now.
I'm
All
sure
right,
you,
I'm gonna grab my sunglasses because I feel
'Kay.
left out. But I'll
But
look
go
outside.
while you're doing that, go check outside. Yeah,
but you can go to the Y. It's not too far from here. They got
But-
a lot of treadmills.
that's what I'm saying.
And Planet
though.
Fitness
Like,
is coming too.
I'm kind of waiting for not. I don't want to say like full winter because full winter here is like negative 20 degrees. But like when winter starts coming around and the air starts getting drier, but it's also clear outside, I'm gonna start doing. There's this trail, literally like fucking a few blocks up my road called Father Sheehan. It's right by the visitor center there. And I'm going to start jogging that with my dog because I also want to start getting into cardio. 'Cause
Jiu-jitsu is great cardio too.
that's also what I've heard.
My coach, a very wise man. So people will know him. I don't want to mention his name on here because
You can mention his name if you want. If you don't,
I
no
don't
worries.
think he'd like the exposure, but
Okay.
people who know him will know him. Brennan and John will know him. He said the hardest thing you can do is hold a man down when he doesn't want to be held down, and that is very true. So you get a hell of a workout doing that,
Oh yeah.
defending yourself from getting choked or getting a limb broken. You know what I mean? It's great, but it's definitely the most practical martial art too, because if I get you on the ground, then I'm winning that fight. You know what I mean? If
Exactly.
you don't know jujitsu and I get you down on the ground, that's a big if. Though is that
And
takedowns and stuff.
like that's mainly what jujitsu is. It's just fucking like getting takedowns, getting someone pinned on the ground to where
Jiu-jitsu's mostly on the ground.
Exactly.
Judo is throwing and
Kicking,
takedowns.
right? Yeah,
not
yeah,
judo.
not judo.
No, judo's
Okay.
judo's all about like taking people down,
Okay.
sweeps and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So like
Jiu-jitsu
sweeping
is
legs.
mostly on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the thing. I really want to kind of learn multiple martial arts. Like I want to learn jujitsu. I get like mixed martial arts basically. I kind of want to learn a whole bunch, like a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? And kind of do that because I mean
It takes a lot of time.
I'm not
dedication.
Exactly. But I mean, as of right now, I can't really dedicate myself to that. But once, I mean, if and when this podcast and all our other stuff starts going off, I'll have a lot more time to be able to do all that stuff. And that's really what I want to dedicate myself to is like, if I'm not doing editing or gaming or this podcast, I want to be working out, doing training, something like that. You know what I mean? Like, because like, and that's the thing. I don't want to compete or anything like that. I just want to be able to, if and when I need it, be able to know it.
And it's very fulfilling too. It's very fulfilling.
And that's what I've realized
Builds
too.
confidence.
It also helps your mental state a lot, because you feel a lot more confident just in the thoughts your brain is producing. Because if you're depressed, like a lot of people in the United States, just because, I mean, the main problem with the United States is mental health, which directly correlates nowadays to social media.
Precisely.
If you can like relegate yourself on social media and work out, fucking keep your brain as healthy as you can. I mean, there's always going to be shit that slips through.
Yeah.
You're a human being. There's always going to be shit that slips through. But if you can work through that shit and just work out, keep your body and your mind as healthy as you possibly can, like, life is just an open plane. You can do whatever you want if you can get through that little barrier. And I call it a little barrier, but I mean, for a lot of people, it's this fucking massive barrier.
Yeah.
It's like the
what
Great Wall of China.
Exactly. It's this massive thing that they can't get through. But if you just push, you'll realize that barrier was a lot smaller than you realized it was. And if you can get through it, your life will be so much better.
You are correct. It was very smoky outside. I couldn't find my sunglasses.
Like I said, it's like Pittsburgh out there.
I know, dude. It's bad. And that's why I feel bad about leaving my dog out there. So I opened up my garage. And I was like, you can stay in there.
But a little bit about my upbringing is that, like, when I was a kid, I used to get punked like a lot. I was a punkable fucking kid back in the day.
I mean,
Define punked.
I can see it. You're skinny.
I'm small, yeah.
Skinny.
Yeah, you're a little fucking bitch.
I was bro, trust me. I was the same way when I was you're older than I was when I started growing, but when I was in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, all I did was get fucking fucked with all the time.
Me too, cuz.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey.
That don't surprise me one bit.
Groupies.
Hey, I've always been a small motherfucker.
Anyway, go back to what you were saying.
But yeah, I just get punked and used to get punked back in the day, you know what I mean? And it's now that I train martial arts, it's like, dude, I'll never let somebody punk me in my life again. I'll never let somebody punk me again. That's why I never really get into fights, you know what I mean? I'm a pretty polite guy, but I think it's just that mentality of I train martial arts, I know what I'm doing. I'm not gonna let somebody punk me. That gets you.
The if and when, if and when you need it, you know how to do it.
Yeah, and you never know. You never
I get
want to
it.
do it.
I mean, and
even within competition, I really don't even want to.
Going back to what I didn't get into my like first fight until I was in 8th grade, and by then I was already in Taekwondo for 2, 3, maybe 4 years. I don't know the timeline exactly. I'd have to ask my parents exactly about that. But I knew exactly how to defend myself. So in this fight, I didn't hit this kid once. And to be honest, this fight with me and this kid, it didn't last long because all I knew I had to do was get him on the ground to a point where he can't move and I win.
Yeah.
He can't move, I win. And it's so funny, actually. Like I'll describe the fight a little bit now that we're a little further into the podcast. So it started with me breaking up these two kids. We were at this school event. I don't exactly remember what it was, but we were at the high school for some school event. All the kids were in the gym just waiting for this event to happen, right? And we were all like playing basketball and throwing a football around, whatnot. And these two kids got into it. Like, I don't know why. I'm not going to get into
basketball.
I don't know.
You
It's
never
sports.
know.
It's men. We get into it. It happens. And I'm like, I've been in hockey my fucking whole life. So I know this is little shit. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Hockey is pretty much a martial art at this point.
Like I'm sitting in between these two kids going, don't fight. Like I'm pushing both of them away from each other. Don't fight. And the one kid that started to fight me, like I turned towards him and I'm like, just calm down, man. It's just a basketball game. No worries. And he fucking shoves me, and we're all wearing like nice suits and whatnot because it's a school event, and I think it was there for like some sort of like music thing.
Something.
Like I don't know if people know this, but I went to a Catholic school for most of my life.
Private as fuck.
Until I was a freshman, and I think in my sophomore year was my first year at public school. But anyway, so we were all kind of dressed in nice suits, and the one thing that set me off the most was when he shoved me, he ripped my front pocket that's right here on most suit jackets. He ripped it, and like it ripped, and it was just hanging down right here, and that set me off. So I was like, I got heated, and I don't remember any of the fight. No punches were thrown. I know that. All I remember is me on the ground with him in a chokehold, holding him down with his neck. I had his 2 legs locked up with my 2 legs, and I had his arm locked up like this, and I had his neck like this.
He had his back.
I like
doing a rear naked.
He could do literally nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even like fully choking him or anything like that. I was just like, you need to calm down, right? Like, and then my fucking mom walks in to the gym, like out of some miracle. My little sister was there. The second I got into this fight, she ran, got my mom. By the time I'm choking this kid out, my mom walks in. So I stop. Everybody calms down and whatnot. Like, me and this kid make up and whatever. And to be honest, I completely forgot the point of this story. But
Not get punked? Or?
exactly, thank you for bringing that back up.
Yeah.
Because I was in 7th grade, 8th grade at this point.
Yeah.
And my whole life, I wasn't like a super skinny kid. I was like, I'm not as.
Clint was kind of junky.
Thank you.
Clint was kind of junky.
I was a pretty big kid when I
He
was.
wasn't
I
fat,
was younger.
but whatever
I
the
can't tell.
step below fat is,
Exactly.
that's what he was.
Husky.
Exactly. I was a bigger kid.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't muscular. I was just bigger.
He was a
'Cause
chunkster.
I hadn't grown yet. But so kids would make fun of me for that. And like at that point, I just had enough. And after that fight, nobody fucked with me ever again.
Exactly, dude.
Because-
You just gotta show you can't be
Because I
can't be
know,
punked.
like,
I
because
feel like that's
knew
the reason that most kids fight, is because
they're trying to
Disrespect.
defend their honor.
the reason I fought so much is because I've always been a very small, skinny, super scrawny kid.
chip on your shoulder.
I remember.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the kid's name, but I remember when you fought outside of Staggering Ox that one day at
Yes,
lunch.
yeah.
It was this kid was 2 feet taller
Yeah.
than you at most.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, Garrett beat the fuck out of him. Like
I
it
was decent back
Very
in my day.
motivational.
Garrett was
decent back
good.
in my day.
I need
Garrett
that
was
on a
good.
poster.
I had a decent clue of what I was doing, but like I did it all because like I felt as if like when you're in high school, right, and you got all those fucking hormones coursing through your veins, at least like back in
Dude.
like our day, like
That's all
you
there is
feel
to
as
do.
if like if you don't fight, you're a bitch. Like you like the idea of like being like somebody pulling up on your shit, be like, oh bro, I'll beat the fuck out of you, da, 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 da. Or Lord forbid it's you being like, hey bro, I'll beat the fuck out of you, and then like you pussy out. Like that's what it's considered, pussying out of the fight. You know what I mean? Like you feel like you have to, and like Clint said, like defending your honor, like that's like a big part of it. I think the biggest part of it is like everybody's insecure. There's not one person on this planet who hasn't been insecure of something within their own lives, right? And with men, I think it mainly comes from their physical dominance over other men, and like what they can do. Like everybody who has ever had a girlfriend thinks in their mind like, oh, dude, if some dude start fucking being weird to my girl, bro, I'll beat the fuck out of him, do this, do that. You know what I mean? Like it's all
It's natural.
exactly.
Healthy.
Like
It's
it's
that-
part of testosterone.
It's that primal instinct
Exactly.
from way back in the
like
day.
defend you and yours.
Exactly.
And I think a big part of it comes from the fact that like you're insecure and you feel as if you have to prove not just to yourself, but to everybody who is like within your circle that if you do something to me that's fucked up, I will beat your fucking ass.
Exactly.
And
And I-
that's where most of my physical fights came from within my life is like, oh, you think you can fuck with me? I'll beat your fucking ass. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
it's inherently immature, no doubt. But like that's why like fights happen in high school. That's
And I mean, like you said, it's like immature and once you get out of high school, you kind of grow out of that.
You look back on it and you're like,
and I mean,
It depends
And I
on
mean,
your personality, of course.
exactly. And I mean, men all the time get drunk, go to bars, get into bar fights and whatnot.
it's
I mean,
ridiculous.
it's happens every fucking weekend. Happens all the fucking time.
Happened
But
to
I
me
mean-
one time at a fight.
See, it happened to me one time when I wasn't even looking for a fight. I was just playing pool at a bar.
Yeah,
and
you told me about
And some
this.
guy came up looking for a fight, and I was like, luckily he was 28 at the time. Sorry.
shout out Stefan.
He was there and he had my back. So cause he was like, why are you trying to fight? Like I was like fucking 19 at the
Yeah.
time. I shouldn't have been in this bar, obviously, but it's I'm just trying to play pool.
Yeah, it's just
I'm not
you
trying
know,
to fuck with anybody.
You're not doing nothing wrong.
And this guy just fucking came up to me and started shoving me with his pool stick. And luckily, shout out Stefan. Stefan fucking comes up and's like, why are you fucking with my brother like that, dude? Why are you doing that? But anyway, men just have this innate thing to be the most dominant person in that room. If you're not, you're a bitch. If you're not if you can't fuck up everybody in that room, you're a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think a big part of it too is also like this thing called little man syndrome.
Oh yeah.
You know, where
Oh,
you
yeah.
feel as if like
Michael
you-
knows about it.
Oh, I know about it all the way. That's where all my shit came from. I'm not afraid to admit it. You know, like I was always a little individual.
And that's a sign that you've grown out of that little man
Exactly.
syndrome, is you can admit that you did once have
100%.
that.
Like throughout high school, that's
So you're not left out.
Fucking
facts.
G.
Facts. Do I look like? Wait, hold up.
Let me see what you look
I'll look like a fed.
While he's putting that on, I mean, it's like, there's some days where I sit in the shower or I'm in bed and it's like, man, I would love for somebody to try and punk me. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
I
I
might
mean-
get my ass whooped.
And-
Nobody wants to fucking fight.
Nobody wants to get no. That's not the thing. Every man wants to fight. No man wants to get their ass whooped though. Every man watches
That's
John Wick and goes,
I could do
dude, if I could do that, people would not fuck with me at all. But nobody can do that because it's a made up fictional
movie.
story. Nobody, even if you're the strongest fucking man in the world, can still be beaten by some martial art expert who knows how to fucking chop you, and you're down. You're down. You're
Demetrius Johnson is
You're
a perfect
fucked.
example of that. Small little guy, you know what I mean? Clears his shit in the UFC, bro. Like fucking one of the
Very true.
legends of all time. Like small guy, bro, but anybody would be scared to fight him. You know what I mean? Because he's so talented. He knows what he's doing, you know what I mean? Like fighting within its most basic form, no matter where you put it, is an art form. You know what I mean? There's things
art.
to know.
It's an art.
There's things that if you don't know, you'll get your fucking ass beat. You know what I mean? It's all about what you know how to do, your control of your own fucking shit in your head. You know what I mean? How willing you are to train, this and that. Nicolai knows this. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It all stems not from the need of, I'm going to beat somebody's ass, but from all of these other things, like how willing you are to dedicate yourself to the craft. You know, how you feel about yourself when you're walking into that ring. You know what I mean?
The one thing that the Rocky and the Creed movies taught me, I mean, they're pretty reliable fighting movies, right? I mean,
maybe, yeah.
shut up, you don't
depends on
fight.
what
I'm
you mean
asking
by
the fighter
reliable.
here.
I'm not a fighter, guys. I don't like to fight.
But
I'd say I'm just a martial
have you
artist, I
seen
guess.
either? I'm not going to ask you because you're a little younger than me. Have you seen either Rocky or Creed with Michael B. Jordan?
I've seen both.
Okay,
Creed
dope.
Creed's good.
Shut up.
is all right.
Creed is pretty good. If you've seen the Rocky movies, Creed is pretty fucking good. But what I'm saying, what my point was to bringing up all that is the one thing those movies always brought up. God damn it, I keep losing my train of thought.
Because you're fucked up.
It is. But the one thing
We're drunk this podcast episode.
I'm not drunk. I'm fine.
But the one thing those movies, oh my
Pour him
god,
up another shot.
can someone bring up a different point while I think about
But
that?
yeah. The thing about fighting is that I never put in my head I can't win a fight against you.
Oh,
I always put in my head I always put in my head is that I will fight you. I
I'm
can
so
fight
sorry.
you, but
I'm
I
so-
might lose. You know what I mean?
I'm so sorry to distract you, but that's what I fucking was gonna bring up
Just
just
hand me
recently.
my other Coke in there too. It should be on the bottom.
There are White Claws for you too if you want it.
I'm not a. I
good.
tell you guys this. I'm a wine guy. I
He's
don't
a
drink
good-
beer.
I should have brought a wine.
Why
for you.
wine?
I'm sorry.
I'm
Let me ask.
sophisticated.
Give me a
If
specific
you had-
reasoning.
I have you on Snapchat, right?
I have no. I don't have either of you. I have his number. That's it.
Give me your number after this podcast. And I mean, you're definitely going to be a recurring guest. So next time you're on, text me what wine you want. I'll go get it for you.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. But
Yeah, we were just
What I-
being dicks before you came
yeah,
here.
I'll go
It's like
buy
our
you,
whole shtick.
I'll go buy you whatever you want. But
Appreciate it.
what I was going to say about those Rocky movies, and I think I don't really know if it's in the Rocky movies as much as.
Thank you, gangster.
Hold on. Garrett, did you not pour yourself a shot?
Guys, if I take another shot, I'm going to be so fucked up. Like, I'm going to start saying things that I don't mean. My alcohol tolerance is unbelievably low.
This must be
I
just
don't
really low
drink.
percentage alcohol because I'm not really feeling the buzz.
It might hit
not-
y'all in like 15 minutes.
I've
but
taken
I'm
like
pretty fucked up.
17 shots today.
How often?
but-
What the fuck, dude?
That is pretty
Hold
messed
on,
up.
really quick.
If I took 17 shots, I'd die.
Really
I'd be
quick.
dead.
Really quick, guys. Clint, I'm not going to lie, kind of has a little bit of a problem with alcohol. Drop in the
I'm
comments.
fine.
We need an intervention.
No. See, that's the thing. I don't have a problem with it. I didn't drink at all last weekend.
The first step of
I didn't
recovery is admitting that you have a
I
problem.
I didn't even drink during our podcast last week. Now that I'm
We took a shot, right?
We
at
took
the
one shot.
beginning.
Yeah, that's one shot compared to my 17 this weekend. That's not shit. I didn't drink at all throughout this entire week of work. I didn't drink at all. I didn't drink at all yesterday until 8:30 p.m.
You know what you're doing right now?
What's that?
Coping.
You're defending yourself
Shut
how
up.
an alcoholic would defend himself.
I'm not coping. But that's the thing. I'm not.
That's exactly what somebody who would cope would say.
I literally only drink like 2 days out of the week, and that's Saturday, and then maybe Saturday, for sure Sunday,
For sure, Sunday. You want to know
For
why?
sure, because we have this podcast, and I for sure drink.
Football.
No, I don't watch football.
Football
It's because of
spur-
this.
Because you got soft hands.
But-
You got soft hands,
Okay,
boy.
can I bring up the point that I was gonna bring up
Bring it up.
5 minutes ago?
Bring it up.
Creed?
The Rocky and the Creed movies
Mm-hmm.
bring up this point where in the ring, and I mean they're just fucking movies, obviously. But when you're in the ring, and I always kind of registered with this, when you're in the ring and you're fighting, even boxing, MMA, whatever it is, the person you're fighting, you have to look at as you fighting yourself. Like you're right up against yourself. And if you can't beat yourself, how can you beat anybody else?
It's crazy you say that because I feel like the reason I lost my first fight was because I lost myself. I lost to myself. I lost my will to
there
fight.
you go.
If you watch that fight, I didn't do too bad. You know, everybody says that, but around the second round, I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this no more.
See,
I'm not knocking this fucking guy out. He's probably gonna knock me out. You know.
And
it's-
the second you lose that mentality is the second you lose that fight.
You got in your own head.
It's you versus you.
It's you versus you.
And it's like that most of your life. You know what I mean? It's
And-
like that
and
90% of your life is you versus you.
And there's this one training thing they do. And I mean, I don't know if any boxer trainer or you specifically have ever, that's the second piss in fucking
Fuck you.
23 minutes.
No.
23 minutes. He's taken 2 pisses.
It's
That's
just me and you, Clint.
crazy.
It's me and you.
It's me and
When
you this
I
podcast.
drink,
That's crazy.
I piss
It's so
because my
crazy.
body's good
Shut
when
up.
it does.
Go
Fuck
take your
you.
piss. Go
Blow
take your
my
piss.
dick.
I don't care. It's so crazy that at the beginning of the podcast, I said, this is my podcast today because I knew that the second he took a shot, I was like, he's going to piss 9 times during this podcast.
It was a voodoo spell.
Close the door and take your piss.
Nasty ass.
But so there's this scene in Creed. I think it's Creed 1. To be honest, I don't know. There's 3 Creeds.
Yeah.
Go watch all 3. To be honest, all 3 are pretty fucking good.
They all hold up.
They all hold up. But there's this scene where Sylvester Stallone just places Michael B. Jordan in front of like a body mirror, and he's like, every punch you throw, dodge it. Every dodge that. Like, and it's a really good scene because you're like, because you could do this yourself as well. Like every punch you throw, swivel your head. Every punch, swivel, overhead, duck down.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a really good training scene that I don't know because I've never been in that sort of fighting scene, obviously.
A really good movie.
What's
a
that?
really good boxing movie, Southpaw, has a scene like that where he punches
Southpaw?
and then he goes over the line, punches, goes back over the line. It's just
Okay, is that with Jake Gyllenhaal?
Mm-hmm.
Southpaw. Okay. I've had a few people tell me to watch that.
It's a very good movie.
I've
very
been told it's a very good movie. Have you ever seen I think it's called The Boxer with Russell Crowe? Let me look this up just to double check.
Yeah, one of my favorite fighters of all time. I talk to the people who I train about this a lot. Is Dominic Cruz. He's my favorite UFC fighter of all time, and he uses a method of very great and confusing footwork and head movement in order to win his fights and dominate fights. And that's kind of what I've been working on. So that head movement and that foot movement,
getting and I feel like that's the most important aspect of fighting that people don't look at. It's not just throwing punches
not getting
and
hit.
Dodging. It's moving. Like you got to move your feet, you got to move your head.
That's
you
why
you got to be able to move your body without moving your feet.
It's a lot like dancing.
Exactly.
It's a lot like dancing.
Exactly. And I'm sorry for this. The person in The Boxer is Daniel Day-Lewis. I'm so sorry. Daniel Day-Lewis is an amazing actor. I watched this movie when I was in history class. Oh, and that's the thing. I don't want to spoiler alert. Michael might have to edit this out. Mr. Carragher showed us this movie when we were in junior history class called The Boxer. And it apparently, I thought it was Russell Crowe. It's Daniel Day-Lewis who plays this boxer who just, during the Great Depression has to go is training for boxing. And I mean, obviously during the Great Depression, people aren't making fucking money.
Is it a true story?
That's why it's called the Great Depression, yeah.
I believe it is a true story about...
It is a true story.
Let me look at the name of who this true story is
Back
about
in
really
the
quick.
Depression, who would that be?
Danny Flynn.
Okay.
Danny Flynn is...
I'm not a huge boxing fan, so I wouldn't know.
But anyway, it's a great movie. I'd highly recommend it for you.
Boxer.
We watched it in Carragher's class, right? The Boxer. Well, okay. I was just making sure we watched it in that class.
Shout out Mr. Carragher, one of our future guests.
It's a very good fucking movie about and I love fighting, man. Like I said, I would never really. I don't think I would. I don't have the need to compete for fighting.
I'd be so down to compete.
Joe Rogan said this thing that made me never really want to compete in fighting ever again. And it's he once knocked somebody out to the point where ambulances had to come and take him off on a stretcher, and he wasn't awake when they took him off on the stretcher. And he was he went back to his instructor, and his instructor was sometimes they die. And it's I don't want to be in that business.
I don't want
to be in that business. I respect everybody that's in that business because that's some hardcore shit that you got to get into to do that shit. But I don't want to be responsible for any of that. I played hockey for all my fucking life, and I remember this one game in specific where I just got super fucking mad. I was in the corner with the puck. I think it was on my side of the ice, where my goalie was right fucking next to me, right? And these three guys just fucking come up to me. I got super pissed. And one of my buddies, Braden, I don't know if you watch this, but he can hold up to this.
He does.
He was right next to me. Three offensive people came up to me to try to get this puck away from me. I let go of the puck, shoved all three of them down, not perfectly checking, but checking them, making sure they couldn't get the puck. Mm-hmm. And it's that moment only happens once or twice in my whole hockey career. I'm not an angry person. I try not to be. Shut up. In video games,
okay.
that's where I let it loose. Is in video games.
There you go.
But in you be proof to this. And in life, I'm not an angry person.
Clint is the most confrontational person I
Shut the
think I've
fuck up. I hate you so much. Nicolai, you even know this. Like, I worked with you for a little bit. Like, I'm nice.
Yeah.
I try not to fuck
Clint's
with
a
your
chill
shit.
guy. He's very mellow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but there I don't know what caused this as a child, or like, because it's definitely something from
Think
my
you were
upbringing.
molested?
Or no.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Maybe.
Oh shit!
Took a quick little trip to Epstein Island.
Yeah, dude.
I remember this
Maybe
one
you were a
island
little
I went
child
to when I was like
prodigy in the
6
woods.
years old.
Yo!
But anyway, like, I don't know where this, like, it's a deep anger inside of me, and that's why I want to get into fighting, because then I can like work out, be fighting, maybe get to the root of like why I'm so fucking angry.
It's probably
all the
what
time.
therapy is for, buddy.
Shut up. This is like
Martial art is a therapy.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you for that statement right there. I'm gonna quote that and put that on a shirt.
Thank you.
Martial arts
I need royalties
is
for that.
a therapy.
Yeah, he
Like,
does need royalties for
like
that.
I'll be honest, I've only tried one therapist, and therapists, I mean, sometimes you got to kind of like go through one, go through two, go through maybe 7 before you find the one that really works for you. Sorry. But for me, in my honest opinion, I feel like therapy it doesn't really apply to me, because I don't really, when people talk to me, I listen, but I don't really comprehend what they're saying. Like, I can understand what they're saying, but I won't ever
It's a very
really,
male thing.
I
Very
won't
male thing.
I won't
would
ever
think.
put it into effect into my life. Like, I'll just be like, oh yeah, like, you obviously think that, so every time I'm around you, I won't do that. But when I'm around other people, I'm gonna do that. I don't care. So what I really think what works for me in my, like, and I feel like this works for a lot of guys in general, is just working out, getting your health, fitness, like eating healthy, eating what you're supposed to be eating, not eating fucking McDonald's and Wendy's. And Michael can attest to this. I fucking order so much.
Oh my god,
fast
really
food.
quick. No, let me go.
So much
Let me
fast
fucking
food.
no. I'd estimate that Clint probably spends a third of every one of his checks on DoorDash, bro. I will be here every day. Me and my girlfriend will be here, bro.
Flex.
And
Slight
fucking
flex.
dude.
God, dude, why does he have to do that?
Well,
to
like,
me? I'm so lonely in my life, and he just always, even when I came out of my room today, he's like, dude, you know what's fucking upsetting is how much pussy I get.
I did not
I'm like,
say
bro.
that. I did not say that, bro. I did not say that.
But really quick, I just want to address like 2 points you mentioned. One is that if you go into training thinking I'm gonna see red and I'm gonna get
No, you see, and that's the thing I learned. I don't want to distract you.
Yeah.
But I feel like I know what you're saying. In hockey, I learned how to change that, like, that instant anger from red, like from me going from perfectly chill, you know, passing the puck, to red, I'm gonna fucking kill you, to like just into, I don't know how to describe it, just into like natural strength. Like, I'll just put that anger back into my body and be like, I'll just push that anger out on the, like, whoever has the puck, or, you know, whatever the fuck, whoever has, you know, whatever. And sorry, go back to what you were saying.
But just an unwritten rule in martial arts in general, especially mostly just punching martial arts, like where you're gonna get damaged, is that you're gonna hit me as hard as I'm gonna hit you, or vice versa. And if you get to the point to where you see red, quote unquote, and you're gonna try and beat me up, it's like, dude, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, I'm gonna throw a right hand, you're gonna go to the forward.
Well, I feel like if you're in more of a stable mindset, you have more of an idea of like countering and then doing this and then doing that.
And that's why I'm glad that I did Taekwondo at such a younger age, because now I can kind of distinguish what's just pure anger versus what like I actually need to do.
When you get angry, you get
Really
Jose
quick.
Aldo.
Exactly. When you get angry, you
get
you have
knocked
no
out.
control.
When
you
I
have
was
no
in
control.
all of my street fights, the ones that I won were the ones that I maintained calmness
There you
and
go.
a peace of mind somewhat throughout, right? The ones that I lost were the ones where I just completely and totally lost control. And I would like quote unquote see red. I never saw red per se, but like I would get very heated and I would always lose, you know, because once emotions take control over logic and just like statistical thinking, you know, I feel like that's when you start to kind of lose the upper hand a little bit. You know, I think the best fighters in the world are the ones that are able to maintain their
Composed.
Oh
and
yeah.
their calmness and like Nicolai said,
That's
just
why-
not composed.
I feel like that's why. I mean,
Except Mike Tyson.
That's
a different story.
I
Even
feel
he
like
was
that's
very
why.
composed. Even he was very composed.
That's why Conor McGregor was so good during his time. I mean,
Or
I know-
Habib.
Or Khabib. Sorry,
Habib.
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
It's
how you pronounce
Habib.
it, but
Depends on your location.
Say his last name right now. Let's try.
Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov.
no.
My second point was like when you compete,
I gotta go.
it's a very beautiful thing when you compete in martial arts because as soon like when I stepped in that ring and I realized as soon as I stepped in that ring and that's why I did it in the first place was because nothing else matters in that what it was 3 5-minute rounds I think I said 3
Three 3-minute rounds, I think you said.
I couldn't tell you. I think it was 3-3, but in that 9-minute time span, nothing else matters. You don't think about your mom kicking you out of the house, your girlfriend cheated on you, your fucking best friend made your girlfriend blow him or something like that. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Or you're in there to harm that guy and he's in there to harm you. It's like it's extremely beautiful to realize and come to this realization when you're fighting that nothing else matters
Except for this fight. This
for
moment
this.
that you're in right now.
It's like time stamped in your memory and in history forever that you decided that you came into a cage in order to fight another human being.
That like 9 to 15 minutes will be one of the biggest part of your life. You know what
Exactly,
I
yeah.
mean? And like
Mhm.
it
And
just
you don't
stays
even
with
remember
you.
it. You don't even remember it.
Because you're just adrenaline.
Yeah.
You see, that's why I want to compete, you know, because, like, I don't know, dude, just that feeling of just, like, there's people watching you get in the ring, you know what I mean? Like you feel this innate pressure to win, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just winning, but it's like, I want to prove to these people that are here for me, and even the people who aren't here for me, that, like, I can do this. You know what I mean? Like I can put everything else aside. I can do this. I can do that. Like I can focus solely on this and overcome this obstacle that's right in front of me.
It's that Herculean task that you have to that I need to get over this rock, you know what I mean? And then you have the motivation and the will in order to do something with yourself in order to do it, you know what I mean? It's like listening to like your favorite song and it's very motivational. That's the same thing as fighting pretty much. You know what I mean? You have that fight. You have that will to get better. And you have the motivation in order to do so. And it's really hard to be depressed when you have goals. You know?
Yeah.
He was talking shit about piss breaks.
Yeah, I know. Okay, boys. When I drink, I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. My bladder starts working overtime because my bladder knows that I'm a little lightweight bitch, right?
I know that too.
I got to get
We know that.
the liquid out.
Indeed.
Fuck both of y'all.
Fuck
While
you.
I'm here.
I've been drinking since fucking 12:30.
I'm not an alcoholic little faggot.
That right
I'm not
there
an
is
alcoholic
the
little
first
bitch.
piss I've taken, and it is 5:39
Yeah, dude, let's
p.m.
let's get a side by side of both of our livers next to each other. I guarantee you, yours looks like a goddamn fucking coal miners from the goddamn fucking 1800s.
Mine looks like I goddamn had fun in my 20s. What the fuck does yours look like? Like you're trying to
I'm
invest,
having a goddamn fucking
like you're trying
great
to
time right
progress, like you're trying to progress your life into the 40s. Fuck you.
I
don't want to live past 45. Fuck
I
that.
can tell. I
Fuck
can
that.
tell. Based off
my
of your
back,
actions.
my knees. Fuck that.
You wanna know?
My knees at 21 years old are already more. I worked out my legs for 15 goddamn minutes today.
You literally
and my
only did
legs
that
are so
so you could
goddamn
say that right
wobbly.
now.
My legs are so goddamn wobbly that I can barely feel them. All right? You can't.
2 points.
I hope you
Thank
get
you.
shot by an off-duty police officer.
I did think about drinking at 12 o'clock this morning, but I ran out of wine. And second off, having fun in your 20s sounds like living in a trailer park with 3 kids.
My
It's-
point. Thank you, Nick. Shut the fuck up.
We all know those
Thank you,
people.
Nicolai.
We all know
Thank
those
you.
people.
Thank you.
It's
Clint, let's talk about your
enjoyable.
DoorDash habits, bro.
Oh, jeez.
Let's talk about your DoorDash habits.
I don't want to.
Dude, me and Chasey will pull up here every fucking other day, bro, and I'll be like, who the fuck is sitting outside in the fucking house? What the fuck? And
It's
I'll see
my
some
DoorDash,
bitch
bro.
with some fucking McDonald's or fucking goddamn Wendy's bag or wherever the goddamn fuck it's from. Walk up to the door and be like, oh, it's just a DoorDasher. This is Clint's fucking 15th time.
It's
this
a very
fucking
bad habit.
Today.
Very bad habit.
It's horrible.
Sometimes I'm just too high to.
How much money do you think you spend a month on
A lot.
DoorDash?
Too much.
Do you have the DoorDash monthly pass?
No.
You should fucking get it. If
Here's
anybody,
how
if
the-
I know anybody who should have the DoorDash monthly pass, it is Clint motherfucking Tuesday.
Here's the cycle with that is that he's going to order a shit ton of DoorDash. It happened to me. I know it. He orders a shit ton of DoorDash for a very short period of time because it's very expensive. He goes broke and then he realizes, oh shit, I can't
have
keep
lived
doing
here.
that.
No, I have lived here for.
I've done that.
How many months, Clint?
I got to go to the bathroom again. I'm not going to lie.
Are you
Damn
gonna
it.
puke?
I'm pretty fucked up.
Are you
yeah,
gonna puke?
Probably.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
You got this.
I'll be back.
Not on
You
my
got
jersey.
this.
Don't
You know
worry.
it's serious when you take the shades off. I'm hitting your vape while you're gone.
Do you want a water, brother?
I'm good.
No, here, take this water. Clint, come back. Take this water, man. Take this water. You need it. Chug it.
Thank you.
Like all of it. Everybody pray for Clint in the comments.
Now it's back to Michael and Nicolai.
Nicolai, I'm going to ask you a serious question, all right?
I love serious questions.
Okay. If you had to change one thing about the world, what would it be?
I feel like 90% of the world's problems comes down to greed.
Okay.
I feel like most wars start because of greed.
Okay.
Most world hunger is because of greed. There's a headline recently that I saw on Instagram is that there was a trend going around of parents putting like gift cards and like dollar bills inside of like diaper boxes or something like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's
And then-
called the, oh, fuck, what's it called? It's like something needs this purse or something.
Sure. And it's a very nice trend, you know what I mean? But then it got ruined because people would go in and then rip open boxes looking for money and gift cards. And you know, it's a very beautiful thing, but people who are greedy have to ruin it. And that's why we live in a world like this, is because of greed. I'm not really religious anymore, but I do stand by the fact that religion does help a lot of people and it is the center of morality. I don't believe we have a very I don't believe we're born with morality as human beings. I feel like we
It's taught and learned.
it's taught and learned. And I feel like greed is the main reason why our world is doing so shitty today. Like politicians don't care about the everyday normal person
Major companies.
because of money and backed corporations.
Yep.
I want to give a reverse shout out to Nikki Haley, who's one of the worst people who exist today, who ran for president.
Never heard of a reverse shout out before. I appreciate you teaching me that term.
Yeah, she's the I think she was a board member of BlackRock, or no,
Okay.
it wasn't BlackRock. It was a military company, a military whatever they're called, whatever.
Military industrial.
Yeah, it's one of those companies.
Yep.
And she decided to run for president, and she wanted to go to war with Russia and other fucking countries. And it's like, oh wow, the person who makes money off of war wants to go to war.
Yeah.
Who would vote for that? If you voted for that, I'm sorry, but I have this belief, right? This is my belief. This ain't this podcast's belief. This is unsponsored. This is an unsponsored belief. I believe about 60% of people aren't real, and that they're drones.
Okay. Interesting.
Not like drones
dive
made by
into
the
that.
government. It's just that they don't have, like, their opinions are formed by the mass media. You know what I mean?
think at the end of the day, I think that a lot of people have a lot of shit to do, right? I think the majority of people within this lifetime are too busy focusing on providing for themselves and their families, right? Because most people have families pretty young when they're not supposed to, right?
Yeah, that's the
I think
problem
most
nowadays.
people are too focused on providing for themselves that their general worldviews, things that are bigger than themselves, such as war, economy,
They're very
things like that.
self-centered.
They mostly depend on what the media says, right? Because a few hundred years ago, there's never been a point in time where you could completely 100% trust the media. It's gotten worse over time. 100% it's gotten more bias. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people depend on things like the news or the newspaper or these various different things that deliver you the news in whether it be a bias or a non-bias way to kind of establish their opinions for them. And I don't blame common people for that. Right?
I mean, we all do that, you know what I mean? I even fell under that, you know what I mean? The Fox News, whatever. It's all bullshit.
Exactly.
You know?
And I think it's really easy to fall for that because at the end of the day, if you have fucking 2 or 3 kids to take care of and you come home and you just got done working a fucking 12-hour shift at the goddamn fucking mine or this or that, right? I think it's very hard to do your research and focus on your opinions, right? And I think that's usually why young people are ahead of the curve because they have that time. You know, they have that time to look at
and that
things
ability
and do this and do that,
to
right?
gather information
Exactly.
and to look at different sources of information.
When you have a family and when you have things to provide for that aren't just yourself, right? I think it's very hard to do your own research and vocalize your own opinions and find even what your own opinions are, you know? And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that the media is controlled by these entities, right? And paid off by these entities that are large enough to pay them off.
In Minecraft.
Exactly, right? Like, there's so many things, so many factors that go into what make beliefs, you know? Like, what makes people, like, so much on Trump's dick right now? You know, at the end of the day, does Donald Trump really give a fuck about the United States or the people that reside within it? Or does he give a fuck about what he gets out of it? What does he give a fuck about more? Nobody will know the answer to that question.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, I have my opinions.
But everybody has their opinions. And at the end of the day, everybody is just so focused on their own shit, which no fault to their own. You know, like it's just the general way of life that they need somebody to make their opinions for them. And they're going to go with the person that convinces them the best.
Should I go sit over there?
No, he'll be back.
Oh, he'll be
I
back.
can edit the camera angles. I don't mind.
Okay.
But I think that a lot of people, I don't blame people for having the opinions that they have, but I think a lot of people just very much rely on people who do have the time to form their opinions for them. And typically the people who like to form opinions for other people don't necessarily have their best interest in mind, you know? And I think that that's kind of where we are, not just as a country, but as a species, you know, of human. I think that, like, when you look at places like the Middle East, where most people are dirt poor, showing up, working fucking, like, 16-hour shifts at their fucking little food stand or this or that, right? I think everybody is dependent upon people who do have the time. Typically, the people who do have the time aren't necessarily going about it in the best way. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that creates the divide, you know, that we experience in today's world where it's like, oh, you're Democrat, fuck you, or you're Republican, fuck you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, I think that that's the point, you know?
It's all very frustrating, yeah.
What is the best way to conquer? Divide.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. It has worked for ever, and it will continue to work until we as a people, with things like the internet and these different various forms to discuss our opinions on and realize like the ways that we're getting fucked as a group of people. I think that it will continue to be that way because it is so easy to convince one person that another person is fucking up their shit just based on their beliefs, when in reality they're in the same spot. You and I are in the same exact spot in life right now. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
Like me and Clint. We're all in the same exact spots in life. But at the end of the day, we have different beliefs. And if we really got into it and we weren't as open-minded as we were, it would be very easy for us to be like, oh, fuck you.
Exactly,
You're fucking this country up.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's how it's designed, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's how I used to be, you know what I mean? I have liberal friends, and I used to think a lot less of them, but now I'm older and I really see the nuances of our world. I realize that not only are those people like not evil, they're actually right on a lot of things in my mind.
The thing is like nobody's ever completely wrong and nobody's ever completely right.
It's all just opinion. I mean, sometimes.
It's all subjective.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this life that is objective. 400 years ago, what were we doing? Bullshit, stupid shit. We were
I
building.
mean,
into where
I
we
disagree.
got
I
now.
think there's some objective morality, but I
Oh,
believe
for
that
sure. Like, don't kill people just cause, or like this or that. Don't
Yeah.
rape. Don't fucking do this. Don't do that. Don't touch little kids. All this and that, right? Like, for sure. But when it comes to the specifics of things, like, where should our taxes be going, or like the immigrant problem, or like the gun problem,
Yeah,
or this or
sure.
that, right? Like, it is all objective. I mean, all subjective. It's all based off of what's happened to you. And the issue is like we're trying to take these things that will inherently, for the rest of time and for as long as they've been here, been subjective and will be subjective. And we're taking them and we're trying to make them objective things like this is the right way, this is that, this is that. And that's the issue that most politicians run on is like, oh, this thing that everybody disagrees on,
that
it should
everybody's
be
outraged about.
this fucking way. And if it's not, then you're fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the issue, right? Is everybody's going to have a different view based off of like the way that their lives have operated.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like there's no red versus blue, there's no white versus black. At the end of the day, we're all human. We all have the same common goal in mind, and that is for all of us to grow and prosper. Everybody wants to go home at night after work, after they enjoyed a good job that they enjoy doing, and enjoy their life, enjoy their free time, spend some time with their loved ones, and everything aside from that is all subjective. You know what I mean? And we take these things, we take these these subjective topics, and we try to make them objective, and we try to turn these things into, no, if you don't think this, then you're fucking that. If you don't think this, then you're that. You know what I mean?
I must confess, I am of that belief. I believe that's if some people don't hold certain of my opinions, that I believe they're actually dumb and actually like disabled people who have disabled views because they're disabled people.
And
like,
there is disabled people out there who have skewed views.
If you vote for me and you and Clint to go to war, I believe you are a can I say the retard word?
Yeah.
You're retarded. If you want me to go to war for your views, you are retarded. I'm sorry. I don't want to go to war in Iraq because they bombed Israel and we like Israel because there's a lot of white people and Jewish people there.
Exactly.
I don't care.
I totally get that. I totally get that. I personally try to look at both sides of every perspective, right? Like, let's take something like gun control, for example. Sorry, I'm kind of fucked up, guys. And keep in mind, we are very young. If you're watching this podcast and you think, oh, these guys, they have ideas of running for office. No, we're just young and we're discussing our
I ain't
opinions.
running for office anytime soon, guys. I just get punched in the head for fun. Okay?
Exactly, right?
Take
we're
it
all
with a
kind
grain
of
of salt.
retarded, right? Like, I'm 21, you're 19, correct?
I'm almost 19. Yeah.
19. Okay. Like,
Couple
do not
months.
take what we say at face value, right? Like, our opinions will change throughout time and this and that. Like, take something for gun control, like example.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people who have experienced gun control on the end of they have had a kid or they have had a friend that has got shot and killed at school. I get it from their perspective, right?
Absolutely.
There are also people who have gotten their homes broken into, and the only thing that saved their lives is having a gun right beside them and being able to stand their ground.
Precisely.
Right? When you take those different perspectives and you put them head in head, you're never going to win. It's going to be this endless battle for the rest of the time, right? Like, at the end of the day, right, everybody has lived different experiences. For the most part, we've all lived similar experiences. Mm-hmm. But everybody has that little bit of change, right? Like, you have a different idea of gun control than I do, I'm sure.
Probably.
Everybody does, But that shouldn't be what we base the way of everybody's life off of, right? It should be dependent upon the individual, right? And we should have that ability to give freedom based off of that perspective of the individual.
And that's the beauty of America, guys, is that in Saudi Arabia, if the king of Saudi Arabia decides to pass a law, guess what? You, who live in an entirely different place than him, now have to follow that law.
Exactly.
In the United States, if we pass a law, this was recently passed on with abortion, Roe versus Wade got overturned. It doesn't mean that all abortion's banned. That's a very common misconception that the media decides to play. It means that the states are allowed to decide if it is banned or not, meaning that your local community has more say in the government than the federal government.
Exactly.
What is wrong with that? You know what I mean?
Exactly. But I totally get it from the other perspective, where in places like Texas, right, it is completely outright banned, even for cases like incest, rape, right? Which I personally don't believe in, but I get it.
I'm a little skeptical to believe that it's not, that it's more than, or that it's that there's no exceptions, because I believe, like, whenever you hear a Republican talk, they're always like, I always believe that if it's in the case of this or this, then, I mean, unless they're like extremely religious, like if they're dead Mormon, Catholic, or something like that,
Yeah.
like I believe that if it's in that case, then sure. But I don't believe that that's reflected in a lot of people's laws, and I believe it's just a thing that they try and propagate to scare people into voting against
Republicans.
against, no, just any abortion laws in general. But yeah,
Yep.
Republicans too.
Yep. The thing that I think when it comes to things like, I don't know, like gun laws or abortion, is it is always dependent upon the individual. There are always going to be people out there who use things like abortion as like a contraceptive of sorts, right? And use it as a form of birth control. Say what you want about that, right? Like, that's traumatic on both individuals. You know, like that's a waste of money. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, there's always exceptions. There's always people who have been victims of certain crimes and certain just things that have happened to them that deserve to get those abortions and this and that, right? Like, everybody's going to have a different opinion on when a life is considered a life. Everybody's going to have a different opinion on when a gun is necessary within a certain situation. Everybody, right? We cannot make certain laws that dictate that on a nationwide or even necessarily a statewide level. You know, it has to be dependent upon the individual, right? When we live this life, when you wake up every day, you wake up with one set of eyes, and that is your own individual set of eyes, right? There is no need to follow somebody else's opinion when you are living a completely different life that has based your own opinion. You know what I mean? Like you said earlier, there's a certain moral obligation that you have as a human. Don't rape, don't kill, don't fuck with little kids, don't do this, don't do that. If you don't fuck with my shit, I won't fuck with your shit, right? But when it comes to things that are very subjective, like abortion or gun control, or a lot of these things like drugs or anything that make a lot of noise in today's society when it comes to political commentary, I think that it is important, most of all, to think about, okay, what are the two different sides of this? What are the fair points that they have? What are the bad points that they have? And even then, it is all still based off of your opinion. Mm-hmm. I've been doing a lot of political canvassing as of recent. Not a lot, but I'm doing it for the money, just so you guys know.
Political what?
Canvassing. It's where I go around, ask questions. Hey, are you voting for this person? It pays $27 an hour.
That is amazing.
That is a lot of money.
That is a lot of lobbyist money.
Exactly.
How do you feel?
I don't give a fuck.
You are a lobbyist bitch. How does that feel?
I don't give a fuck. I'm making good money. Right. And I was only doing it for the meantime. But, like, everybody has their opinions, and opinions will differ widely. Mm-hmm. Just because somebody wins a popularity contest
doesn't mean they're right.
Based off of the money that they've put into their campaign or this and that, because that's typically what it comes down to, right? Because most people are in the middle, and you have to sway them a little bit, and whoever has the most money for their campaign will sway those people a little bit, right?
Advertising, whatever.
Exactly. Like, you shouldn't make people's lives revolve around these things that are simply opinions that have won a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Right? It's insane.
The presidency shouldn't be a dictatorship. It should be a representation. I believe the federal government should have a whole lot less power than it does.
100%.
Some people disagree with me. I'm a little bit more libertarian than I used to be. I don't believe the federal government should have say in most things that we do.
The federal government should be there as like a defense.
Yeah, that's the original thing it was made for. If you read the Constitution, it was there. The federal government was basically just to protect against invaders, and I think it wasn't even set taxes, I think.
Exactly. At the end of the day, the states will make their decisions. Mm-hmm. And within the states, the counties will make their decisions.
Yeah, shit. If even in the counties decided to make their own laws, like if in Silver Bell County, it's perfectly legal to...
It's so much easier to control that way.
It's not only easier to control, it's like voting is a lot easier, you know what I mean? It's a lot less... like you can secure it a lot more, and it's a lot less... like sketchy.
People should focus more on their local and state elections than the presidential election.
When I was a kid, I was really into politics. I did speech and debate. I was very conservative, and when I was a kid, I really wanted to go into politics and become governor. And I never really wanted to become president because governor has more say over what goes on in their state than the president does over
Within
the
their
entire
country. Yeah.
And it's just your local elections matter a lot more than you think.
Yep.
Maybe not your like chief executive, like it'll change like a little bit.
But with your senator,
your
Supreme
governor,
Court justice,
your Supreme Court justice, your congressmen and women.
That's really where it counts, and that's the thing that sadly gets the least amount of coverage nationwide, right? Like in recent times, it's gotten a lot better, but even then, it's still just every political race is ran like a popularity contest. This person's a fucking liar. This person's a piece of shit. This person fucking shady, he, this, that, the other. You know what I mean? Like
it's all propaganda.
It's all propaganda from both sides, and it's like, how often have you heard in recent memory what these people are actually trying to represent, the checks and balances that they're trying to pass and the ones that they're trying to deny? It is, this person's fucked up, the party that they're running for fucked up, this and that and the other. It is a popularity contest. This Trump-Kamala shit, it is purely a popularity contest.
I don't want to point fingers, but this is a little bit of Trump's fault. I mean, it's not really his fault because, he came in as an outside guy and everybody attacked him for it. But, this whole popularity contest started in 2016 when that all happened.
Hillary versus Trump.
It was a thing for the
Young
highlights.
people weren't that focused on politics before that.
Exactly. Then it became a huge thing.
Who under the age of 25 remembers Obama, Mitt Romney?
Exactly.
Very few people.
Exactly, yeah. I'm not a huge Obama fan, and I'm not really a huge Mitt Romney fan, but,
They both respected each other.
They both very extensively respected each other.
Exactly, and that is just completely gone nowadays.
It is.
You will look at Trump's Twitter, you look at fucking Kamala's shit, and it's just like, okay, these people are so clearly trying to smear each other.
Exactly, like who can smear the other one?
Exactly, like who has the most dirt on who, and it's just sad. It's very sad.
Yeah.
Right. When you look at other countries and how they run their shit, and when you look at the United States, for a long time, the United States was the pinnacle of world superpowers, right? Like
freedom.
Exactly. And we have gotten to the point, it feels like we've regressed in a lot of ways.
A very, very funny quote by a man who I do not know the name of said that the United States of America is a gayer and more retarded version of the Soviet Union.
Exactly.
And shout out to my boy Marcus.
Shout out.
Who helped me remember that quote. But, I mean, it's just like you just try not to vote on personalities, you know what I mean? Vote on who, like, Trump says this. I got to say, I am biased because I'm a right-leaning person.
Yep.
Trump says, were you better off 4 years ago than you were now? You know what I mean? And then that's just all you have to really vote about is just the policies. The personality doesn't matter, you know what I mean? If Trump's blowing coke and fucking snorting cocaine off of hookers' asses and it doesn't affect our policy.
John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy. He's a very respected president.
Fucking bitches. He was doing this. He was doing that, and everybody
were having
remembers him
parties
greatly.
in the White House. Bill fucking Clinton got
Exactly.
blown by Monica Lewinsky.
Yep, and
In the
even
White
more
House,
women.
allegedly.
Yep.
But yeah, just vote on the issues. Like me personally, the issues in which I'm like 100% voting on, like if is for the topics in which I vote on mostly is foreign politics and economy. If Trump says tomorrow that we're going to go to war with Iran as soon as he gets in the office, I'm not voting for him.
Exactly.
And if he says we're not going to go to war with anybody, we're going to get out of everybody's business and we're going to get out of NATO, I'll vote for him the fucking hour of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just huge. I'm a huge foreign policy and economy guy because that's what affects us most.
Exactly. When we're over in places like in the past, like Vietnam, or during the Cold War, like Soviet Russia, or even during times like World War II or World War I, you know what I mean? Like those things affect us the most, for sure.
Exactly.
And
It's literally life or death with those things.
Exactly. And there's a lot of things going on within our own country, that affect us daily, right? That don't affect the super rich people who have the ability to run for office and spend billions or millions of dollars on campaigns. There's more poor people in this country than there is anything else. You know what I mean? There's more people who are struggling every day to make their bills and do this and do that than anything else. those are the people that we should be looking out for. Those are the people that, if there are other people who have more ability and power within them in terms of financial status and this and that, that can and have the time to run for office.
And
those are the people we should be looking out for.
And to think that we spend about maybe, I make about $800, $900 a check.
Yeah.
I would be making about $1,000 or maybe over, but instead it goes to taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And there was hurricanes going on in Georgia, and not a single I don't think any tax money has gone to Georgia. It's
$6 billion to Ukraine.
$6 billion to Ukraine. Fuck those guys. Fuck Ukraine. Fuck Israel. If you support any of them, if you have a Ukraine by on your flag, you are psyoped by the CIA.
Really quick, let me go check on Clint.
All right, it's just my podcast now.
Keep talking.
I guess I'll go on a monologue. If you have kids, put them in martial arts. It's great. Don't listen to the mass media. Don't listen to Fox News.
You sure?
Listen, here's the reason why you don't want to listen to like any of that shit is because even I listen to Fox News media, and it even brainwashed me into that sort of thing. You just don't want to be influenced by the man on the TV, and instead work on yourself. Do martial arts. It's pretty great. If you're into that, smoke some marijuana. It's pretty awesome sometimes if you're into that. Do both. Both are pretty great. Don't drink alcohol, apparently. That's pretty bad, too. Baltimore Ravens season. Anyway, that's pretty good. The Baltimore Ravens are doing good, but come on, guys. Really? Do we really have to give up 38 points to the fucking Bengals? I mean, did we really need to give up 38 points to the fucking Cincinnati Bengals? I mean, I get they're a really good offense, but like our defense held the Buffalo Bills, who have scored 40 points on the last three, or no, it wasn't three. It was probably about 2 games over some pretty mediocre teams, but that's still Josh Allen and the fucking Bills. We can keep them to 10 points, but we can't keep the Bengals to 30 fucking 8. I don't get that shit whatsoever, but we did win. I was sweating my ass off and I was pissing myself, but we did win. Fire John Harbaugh, bring Mike McDonald back from the Seahawks, and we'd have a pretty good season. Lamar Jackson is a GOAT. I'm calling it right now. The Washington quarterback, I forgot his name, Daniels, is going to be the MVP. I'm calling my pick right here, right now. I'm going to put about $50 on that if I can.
Throw 400 on it.
That's like half my check, dog. I don't believe in him that much.
If you don't believe in him that much, then what's the point in betting?
Fair enough.
Exactly.
I just got psyoped right now. See? That's called propaganda, guys.
This is propaganda. Nicolai, Clint is going to be in the bathroom for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to lie, guys. We got a little too fucked up on this podcast. Nicolai, how are you feeling? 1 to 10.
I think I'm fine.
I'm pretty fucked up. I think Clint is really
I only said
up.
the CIA like 3 times in this entire podcast, so.
I think you're doing pretty good.
I am.
I'm going to put an end to this one right now.
Lame.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, I guess we can, unless you got like one more topic that we can go over for the next like 10 minutes or so.
Let's think here. Been going for about 2 hours.
I'm having fun. I think we're talking.
Nicolai, what is your favorite movie of all time and why?
Dude, I hate these conversations because I don't have a favorite movie. I don't have a favorite song. I don't have a favorite band. I mean,
what is one movie that you have seen throughout your life that you think will stick with you through the rest of your life?
That would stick with me. All Quiet on the Western Front, the original OG.
We talked about that earlier.
I mean, barely, yeah.
I haven't watched it, but I've been meaning to watch it. I know they made a Netflix remake that I hear.
Don't fuck with that.
Don't.
Yeah, it fucks with messaging, everything. It's not even the same message if you watch the new one.
I hear the original was very anti-war.
That's why I love it.
Very anti-war.
That's why I love it.
Clint, how was your puking session? Are you fucked up?
Yeah, I don't feel good still.
He's a trooper for coming back. We got to give it to him.
Yeah, fact, Clint. Facts.
I might have to leave again, but
well, we're gonna put an end to it right now. So if you want to do the outro with me,
Yeah.
We would like to thank our special guest, Nicolai O'Donnell.
Thank you, Nicolai.
His
I
socials
appreciate
will
it.
be in the description. Unless you're on Spotify, then fucking find him yourself. But Nicolai will be a reoccurring guest on this podcast. So if you like him and only this episode of the FRiED Files, then make sure to tune into future episodes with him involved. Nicolai, is there anything you'd like to plug really quick? Maybe your Instagram where you post your stand-up comedy?
I mean, what's not to like? I'm a very radical person, and I love to fight people, I guess. But yeah, no, I don't really have anything. My YouTube, my one stand-up thing is on there. I might post another one here in the next beginning of November. My socials, you can just look up my name, find me, my face, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, perfect.
Shout out Baltimore for the good win today.
Shout out. All right,
Shout
Nicolai, we'd
outs.
like to thank
Thanks.
you for pulling up on the podcast.
Thank
If you enjoyed this episode of the FRiED Files, then make sure to tune in next Friday and check out our previous episodes. Clint is very fucked up right now.
Poor Clint.
He is breathing very heavily into the goddamn fucking microphone. Next episode, we will make sure not to get this fucked up. We have a special guest next weekend, so make sure to tune in. All right.
Indubitably.
Peace out, everybody. Thank you for watching.